Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. So
this is Layla Santinello. She has been missing since June 27th, 2023, and she disappeared from Kingsport, Tennessee. Chronicles of Olivia and I went out to Kingsport, Tennessee on several different trips, searching for Layla Santinello or any information leading to her whereabouts. These are my thoughts on this case.
well, I have to be honest with you. I was hoping by now we would have found Layla. So this has been very hard. You know, we want to bring her home. We want to make sure that her family knows what happened to her, I think is really the most important. Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. Just like to speak to them just for a moment and just say, if you know something, say something, because her life does matter. For the family members of these people that know what happened to her, it could have been your daughter. It could have been your granddaughter. You need to ask them to stand up and speak up.
Tom, it's just a tough subject. A recent study by Brown University showed that nearly 450 children are killed each year by their parents.
My daughters were picked up on a Friday by their father to spend the weekend, and that night he pumped carbon monoxide into their bedroom and slit their throats.
Searches have begun for 2 children killed by their mother in Pickens County.
9-year-old Hayden King was laid to rest today. Hayden's 4-year-old sister Harper will have a celebration of life service tomorrow morning.
Here's a story that's breaking at 6 o'clock. It's all centered around the 3 people you see on your screen. The key pieces in a Middletown murder case.
On the left is James Hutchinson. Police say the 6-year-old was killed allegedly by his own mother.
East Los Angeles mother was charged today with killing her 3 young children. The youngest was less than 2 months old.
At 6 with breaking news.
Good evening to you, friends. Greg Merriweather along with Elizabeth Vow. Our top story today, that precious little 2-year-old right now. 2 people are facing charges accused of murdering little Nevaeh Allen. Investigators found the 2-year-old dead in Mississippi after several days of searching.
One of those blamed in her death, the girl's mother, Lanaya Cardwell.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We've brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims. is up, my beautiful people of YouTube and X? It's nice to see you here this morning. We've got a horrible case to go over that we all have been watching since the end of February, and now we're rolling into March. This young 13-year-old girl, we're learning, has been abused for some time, and it is just devastating. I think devastating to many people that have been following this case, devastating to victims of crimes, devastating to her family. And so there's been a lot of conversations centered around whether or not her mother knew anything. I'm going to venture to say before we start on this kind of journey down this information highway, I just want to caution everybody first and foremost,
We don't know what went on inside of that home. Just like many of our cases that we cover, we have no earthly idea what resided in that home, what type of abuses, what type of manipulation. We have no clue. Okay. So I want to caution everybody. I know it's so easy to pass judgment and lay judgment on people, especially in light of our lack of knowledge and the fact that we ourselves could not believe that we would be so blinded by this if it happened in our own family. But the problem is it hasn't happened in our own family, and therefore we do not understand what was going on behind these closed doors. I want to caution people on that because yes, I do believe at the end of the day that she may have been uneasy about a few things. I think she was also manipulated by this man. And if we look into these type of men, these type of people, and I don't want to classify them as men because we're seeing a whole host of women, especially the ones that are being kind of dominating the airspace, are teachers. So we don't want to classify these people just as men anymore because there's enough evidence to say that this swings both ways. That we just got some sickos that walk amongst us. It doesn't matter their sexual orientation, their ethnicity, whether they're male, female, it doesn't matter. This day and age, it doesn't matter. Our children are prey, and we have to start looking at that. But we deal with a lot more men in our business than we do females. And the stuff that we've learned over the years of going through this is just how manipulative these people are, how they couch themselves as being, the best person. They're very even keel. It's almost like the phenomenon that we have with serial killers. They walk amongst us and they live a normal life and appear normal to us. Now, did this mother have some, issues of her own? This guy, in all fairness, I'd like to talk reality to my folks. Okay. I don't like trying to hold too much back. I'm not a PC person. So I anticipate that I'm going to piss somebody off before the end of this show. I don't give a shit because it's my show. And so we're just going to go from my lens. You take it for what you will. You use your own lens. But when it comes to this lady, I kind of feel that she had some maybe self-esteem issues about herself. This was a very good looking man. Okay. He was a tall, gorgeous looking man. We have to take those things into consideration, whether we want to or not. Okay. That she had some self-esteem and issues of her own that she was dealing with. She had a relationship that she had been in, a committed relationship with this gorgeous man for a significant amount of time. She probably lived and breathed him, right? She probably lived and breathed this man. And it really does show in her some of her behaviors where here she is, a mom missing her daughter, and she's consoling him. So I'm seeing these behaviors here right on these cameras that people are changing around and making them more something than they're not, in my opinion. Does she know more? I believe she had feelings. I believe she disregarded. I believe this lady was in denial. And I don't ever believe that this woman wanted to harm her child or have anyone harm her child. With that being said, did she look the other way because she didn't want to believe it? And can she be held accountable for those actions? Negligence is just that. It's negligence. Whether it's child endangerment, child negligence. Did her daughter come and tell her she didn't feel comfortable with the guy? What is going on with this guy? Them talking about him being a boyfriend at the beginning and him being an ex-boyfriend at the end. What is going on here? What information is relevant? Because I feel like she lied at the beginning because she didn't want to believe this man could be responsible. And he might have been in her ear saying, they're going to think it's me. I'm the stepfather. They always think it's the stepdad. They always think it's the stepdad. You know me. You know me. You know we've lived together for years. You know I had nothing to do with this. You know me, Jen. You know I could never be capable of this, but I was alone with her and they're going to set their eyes on me. You need to tell them this. This woman has self-esteem issues, lives and breathes for him. She, in her mind, knows he could never do this. She's slept next to him in that bed for years. Just a different perspective. I know we all want pitchforks and we all want instantaneous gratification when stuff like this comes. We want that gratification that the bad guys are behind bars. We're going to get into all those topics here in just a few moments. Good morning, Jules. The first to say good morning to Bullhorn Betty in chat. It's always nice to have you, my love. Melissa, good morning. Jags girl, nice to see you. MJ, Angel, Colette, Bayou Babe, Angela, Ashley, good morning to all of you beautiful ladies. Nani, Rhonda, Denellen, good Lord, I'm going to stumble across your name until the day I die. I apologize about that. The legendary. How can I can't spit your name out when you are the legendary? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Rhonda, it's nice to see you. November Rain, nice to see you. Astro from space, the Astro from space. Good morning. Our beautiful Pebbles is up in the house. Shelby, it's nice to see you. Always watching. It is beautiful to see you as well. Our Barbara Warren, good morning, love bug. It's nice to see you. Sharon, Leo, good morning, guys. I just skipped over somebody. Oh, our beautiful Miss Lee, mom of three. I'm tongue-tied all this morning, so I apologize. Hopefully the show goes better than our roll call, right? Lady 7 Up, it's nice to see you. Wind and Whim Designs, it's nice to see you. Medgas Guy, good morning, good morning, good morning. Net L, it's nice to see you as well. I think we're getting, what is it? Nothing Compares. Don't get me singing. You know what? It's funny that we have Nothing Compares to you because or Nothing Compares, right? So naturally I go Nothing Compares, Sinead O'Connor, right? But I've got to say, when I was coming into this live, I'm like, because I listen to some stuff. I'm setting some stuff up and trying to see if there's any final touches on my show that I want to throw in there. Is there any other videos on different platforms that I want to pick up and throw into the show? So I'm in different things. And of course, I just started this new TikTok channel, Betty for President, right? VHB for President. If you guys haven't gotten subbed up, please go over there and sub up. If you're a political person, I'm a conservative political person. So I do bring some stuff to the bigger platforms here and throw them into my true crime stuff. But I really like to separate those things because I love all people and I don't want politics saying, oh my God, she doesn't like me. No, it's not that I don't like you. It's just I'm a political person. So naturally I'm going to be, and you guys know me, right? So I'm going to the mattress for my party, right? Right. So I'm going to the mattress for my party. And so I just try to respect everybody because we're here for true crime. And, I do want you guys to see that I do other things than just true crime, that I'm very active in not only my community, but in my state and across America, with the stuff that I do. It's not just true crime. I'm all over the place for multitude of things. I'm a very active person. I'm a workaholic. And so I'm constantly on the go, go, go. It's going to be a problem for me here for the next 2 weeks because tomorrow the car goes into the shop and I'm down wheels. Okay. there's a new saying for down like 4 flat tires, right? Because I'm going to be down like 4 flat tires for about 2 weeks. So I've got to figure out how to do that. I have a funny feeling my house is probably going to be the cleanest it's ever been. I'm just saying. Okay. I don't know if I've got to sit here for 2 weeks and this house is getting cleaned. Okay. It's getting scrubbed from top to bottom. So we know what Bullhorn Betty's doing for the next 2 weeks while she's down like 4 flat tires, of course. So, I hope you guys get over there and see that. Long story short, we are pushing some more stuff out politically as well as for the true crime, but we're going to be down. So you guys are going to see us home based for a little while. I would love to be out here in Kissimmee going through this. I know that this man is going to a hearing tomorrow. Again, would love to be there. It's just not something that we're going to be able to do, at least for the next 2 weeks. So we're going to be home based. I sent you an email on a case. Okay, thank you, Shelby. I'll review that whenever I can. But anyways, going back to what I originally started with, the Sinead O'Connor comment, is while I'm sitting here on TikTok, I'm seeing all these new reels that I wouldn't normally see on my other 2 established TikTok channels, right? So I'm now seeing all this stuff. Well, a lot of the music stuff comes across, okay? People singing. And I gotta tell you, this is the truth about me. Guys, if we wanted to hear the same rendition of the song, we would just listen to the song. Okay. What I love about personalities on YouTube, on TikTok, when they sing a song, I love them to make it their own. Okay. Singing the same song in a different octave, but using the same tone, to me, it's not doing anything. Yeah, it's showing that you have pipes. Okay. You know, when you hit those notes, it shows that you have pipes. But there's more to singing than just singing. Okay. You got to know how to play an instrument. You got to know how to write songs. You got to know how to do this. So if for all those creators out there that have beautiful voices, find a way to make the song your own. Those are the things that many people like me look for out there in the wilderness when we're scrolling through. When we're hearing the same exact song from different people saying the same exact way, it's like you're burning the song out, babe. You know, like the whole thing with the jelly roll thing, you know, Save Me. Love that song. Love that song. I almost love any rendition of that song. But there was another lady that really got my attention because she sang it the opposite. You know, like Jelly Roll is singing it that, you know, his life is destroyed and, you know, blah, 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 you know, that nothing's going to save him, right? The bottle, the smoking and the drinking took him out, shattered his dreams, shattered his hopes and dreams. And then we have another lady that comes on and does an amazing rendition, but she made the song her own. Did she change the beat and the tempo? No. But she was she sang this song opposite. She ended up talking about how you're always salvageable. Nothing you ever can do can make you unsavable. So it was, and I'm getting goosebumps because I love that song too. I love both renditions of the song, and I'm getting goosebumps telling you. But that's what I'm talking about. She took the song and made it her own, and it's rising goosebumps on me. So folks out there that are singing and wanting to show their pipes off, make your song your own. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with my soapbox. Okay, I'm done with my soapbox. Nothing compares. See what you did? You one little name, and you guys got me on a 5-minute tangent about singing. I gotta tell you, some of these people's pipes, good Lord. It's hard. It's hard not sitting back here and saying, can I do that? Nope, can't do it. Can't do it. Oh, good Lord. Allie, good morning. It's nice to see you. Just Deb, it's nice to see you as well. The real me too. Good morning. It's nice to see you, my love. My love. Linda Lou is up in the house. I see you. Ranty Pants, it's nice to see you. That was awful. Ranty Pants, it's wonderful to see you. Ranty Pants, it's nice to see you. Everybody stay away from Ranty. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to come out like that. I really didn't. I promise. Kayla, it's nice to see you. Amy, it's nice to see you. Thunder 420. Carissa, good morning, love. TL, it's nice to see you. I think I said hi to you, Net L, but if I didn't, I'm a little off my game this morning. Guidance, our beautiful Guidance is up in the house. Our beautiful Sonia is up in the house. First one saying morning. Well, good morning to you, my love. I hope you're having a great and amazing day. That's what we like to do. Even though we talk about some really crummy stuff here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, because we cover true crime. We always try to make it impactful to each and every one of you. Country Kitten, it's nice to see you. I think I said hi to you, Colette, but if I didn't, good morning. Audrey, it's nice to see you. Kathy B, TD, it's nice to see you as well. Moonlight Magic, it's nice to have you here, my love. Manic Mama T is late up in the house, followed by Gigi for life. So we know who the late waker-uppers are, okay? We know who the late waker-uppers are. We're not going to say anything, Gigi and Manic. We're not. Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody already, they beat me to the punchline. I'm sorry. Well, good morning to everybody here. It's going to be one of those shit shows. And anyways, I'm just joking, but let's get on to some realistic topics, and that is the Madeline Soto case. Again, a lot of stuff has been coming out. It's making us all just angry. Like we're angry and we want somebody to blame so bad, right? We are wanting to blame mom. Like, how dare mom not know this is going right under her nose, right? How dare her? How can she not? Because we can't understand, Wanda, it's nice to see you. We can't understand in our head how this could possibly happen without mom knowing, especially for 2 solid years. How in the heck can something like this happen? I guarantee you it can. Now, the question is, did it happen in this case? That's what we don't know. But as far as children being abused right under their mommy or daddy's nose for years, absolutely can happen. Absolutely, 100% without a doubt. How do we know this? Because we studied ST and HT. We've talked to survivors of ST during the Paola Miranda Rosa case. Had a lady that goes all over the country that was out there helping us search, and I got to pick her brain and talk to her about the trade and how it all works. A lot of these things aren't stranger danger when it comes to ST. Now, granted, this is not an ST situation. This is an SA situation. But we can get some of those behaviors from both sides of this. Because at the end of the day, it's the grooming that comes in that's deployed on these younger children that caused this to amplify later. This is a man that this woman put in her daughter's life. They were in a relationship. I'm sure at first they may have been. Now we don't know. There are a lot of women, and I'm telling you this, and I'm telling you this from my own personal observation. There are women with children right now that will start dating a man and have him moved into their home in 3 months. Know it, seen it. You know what I call those women? And no offense, I'm not talking to you if you feel a little, jaded by what's about to come out of my mouth, maybe you need to look at yourself. Don't be beating me up. But to me, that is a desperate woman. Okay? I would rather go years without a significant person in my life, not to deal with stuff like this, because I'm looking for specifics. When you're a desperate woman, you're taking anything that comes your way. And I'm sorry, that's just, when I'm looking at this case, I feel like this mom has some personal issues. I want people to be comfortable in their own skin. Why? So stuff like this doesn't happen. Yes, you can't equate this to somebody having poor views of themselves. Because now when they get the attention of a significant person, now they're overly trying to make that work, so much so that this woman probably, look, I don't know the situation. I don't know the financial situation. Stephan may have been the breadwinner, but for whatever reason, I feel this lady's the breadwinner. Like, I feel like this lady is the one that works while he sits on his ass, because she's a desperate woman that listens to anything and everything this man says as true. I really do. I don't know why I'm getting that vibe, but I do. Did mom know? She probably did. And is in complete denial. Or knew something didn't feel right. I don't want to say she knew. I don't believe this mom knew that the SA was going on. I think she knew that there was some major conflicts between her significant other and her daughter. And I do believe that there may be, now, I do believe at some point she started getting some feelings around this time that he may have more of a part in this than she thought. I think that that's why she was exhibiting a lot of those nervousness. I know that I'm not probably saying a lot of what other content creators are saying, But I also have experience with parents of crimes like this. So I do understand that there is more to this story than meets the eye. Is there blame to be had by the mother? I'm sure there is. But I'm also a time and a place person. And what did she know? And did she think it rose to this level? That's where I'm residing. Did she, if she knew or had some type of internal feeling that something wasn't right, did she ever think that it rose to this level? And my personal and humble opinion is no, she didn't. And even if she wasn't cooperating with law enforcement, or she even, lied for her boyfriend because she didn't think her boyfriend did anything, there would have been a time and a place when she realized that he really may have done something, and she probably cooperated like there was no tomorrow with law enforcement. So we have to take the manipulation and mental stuff that he's been doing to her and her daughter for these years. And we have to apply that in this situation, which I feel like a lot of creators are removing that. And that is a key factor into whether this woman had anything to do with it. Now, do I think she did? I'm kind of on the fence. So we're going to go through all of this and we're going to have a discussion. And, maybe we can all get on a similar page, or at least have a better understanding of what transpired. We're going to go through these videos. I've got them in a very specific order so we can follow this through. Okay. There may be some that are out of order, and they're out of order for a purpose. So I just want to let you know, I've got 1, 2, 3, I got like 7 or 8 videos here that we are going to go through. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to stop. I'm going to walk through them with you. We're going to listen to them collectively, and we're going to go through why I'm making these statements. I do feel like this lady, in part, was also his victim, the mom. Okay. She seems like a loving mother. Did she make mistakes? I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did. But we're also going to be looking at this man's history as well. He doesn't have those, if she did her due diligence, I don't know if she did or not, she would never have found anything on him. So even if she did her due diligence, she would have still thought he was a good guy. I just want to put that out there to everybody. Now, I don't know, because I know there's a lot of women that don't. I mean, I'm sure that with this true, the women that are in here in this true crime genre, I don't think you have to worry about it, because let's face it, since we started down this true crime journey, I think everyone has PTSD and is paranoid, right? I think we're all looking over our shoulder for the boogeyman to come out of the freaking bushes. Like, we're all on guard. Like, what? Everybody's a Betty. Like, we hear rustle in the bush. I'm like, whoa! Right? We're ready. We're ready to get in action. Don't be messing with me. So I don't think it's us, but there's not, we're an echo chamber. Okay. And that's what I'm going to call us. Not us, the coffee club, us, all of us, the collective millions in the true crime genre. I'm talking about all people. We are an echo chamber. That means we're a small group amongst the large numbers, right? The worldly numbers. We are a small little echo chamber. So the majority of people out there in the wilderness probably aren't thinking about, threats and harms to their children. They're not looking at this guy and saying, oh, let me go ahead and do a background check on him. More and more people are starting to become aware and starting to do those types of activities when they meet a significant or a person that they like and have children. People are starting to become more and more aware of doing stuff like that. But how many people actually do it? Not very many. Betty, they broke up. Why did she bring him back in their house and allow her sweet baby to hang out with him? Because it was probably a parental figure. And again, this comes back to, women that have, like for me, let me just explain me a little better. Maybe this will help understand. So me, whenever I'm in a relationship, in a committed relationship, I'm very loyal to that relationship. Okay. So if I'm in a committed relationship, I'm loyal. That means that I will Fight. I will try to work it, no matter what. I will work that relationship until it's not salvageable anymore. So that means there may be some breakups in there. There may be some, disagreements, moving out, coming back. But collectively, if I'm there, I'm going to exhaust that relationship. But once I'm done, I'm done. Okay, you understand that? So when I have just put my foot down and say this cannot happen, this can't go any further, I'm done. Well, other people start obsessing and start thinking about, did I make the right decision? Did I not make the right decision? Should I call him and then he'll call and then, the abused wife syndrome. Okay. A lot of people don't want to consider that mental abuse is just as messed up as physical abuse. So this woman could have been manipulated and just completely mind effed. Now, that's a big speculation for me to give a woman I've never met before. Right? I'm giving her like a major olive branch that I would not normally give to anybody else. Right? I'd be knocking on her door right now asking her what really happened. But there's a reason why I'm very cautious in this particular case. I didn't give this courtesy to Lucky, Joshua Cunningham. Why am I giving this courtesy to this lady? I mean, I did give him a courtesy of, about 24 to 72 hours before I brought my hammer down. But in all reality, I was not very pleased with that man. And I had expressed that long before. And I even said, I'm giving the family time to grieve because you guys knew I was hot. You guys knew I didn't care for what Lucky had done. We already knew that I had already known more behind the scenes than I was willing to tell to my audience. But I still gave him I didn't even give him the benefit of the doubt. I gave him what is known as courtesy and respect to deal with that. And then I gave a point and when those gloves are going to be coming off, and they have come off, and they will continue to stay off. Because at the end of the day, I'm advocating for Cassie, the mom. I'm advocating for her. And I want her to be honest with you, I want her to sue the shit out of the family. Not for financial gain by any stretch of the imagination, just as a big F you. You took me out of my daughter's life, put her in harm's way, and you got her killed. Because there's no amount of money that'll ever repay that lady for what she went through. But we also know that those animals have money. And they put her daughter in danger while keeping her out of her life. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a few things I'll deal with, a few things I won't. And I can tell you that I provided her unsolicited advice. She did not ask me. I just reached out to her. She did not respond to me or anything like that. I just reached out to her and I even said, I know this is unsolicited advice, but this is what I would do. I hope she does. So let's go ahead without further ado. We've already been yapping for the first segment of this show. Let's get on with, we're going to be stopping this interview. All the information that we're going to be seeing is going to be covered under the fair use of the copyright laws of 1979, 1969, who the hell knows. But that's what we're going to be using as we go. But I don't have to worry about these news organizations. They're chill with the Bullhorn Betty channel. Okay. But before we start on this, I just want to give some information. This lady and what's making me, this is one of the reasons why I feel that this lady had mental knowledge that there was something not right. It was this very initial interview. I think this was the very first interview she had ever given. I believe she's had two different interviewers in her home, a male and a female. I think it was the male that got the first interview, the female that got the second interview. And I think they were from two different news organizations. This is the first one. You're not going to see Stephan sitting behind her. It was when the lady was interviewing her. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you see Stephan literally move a chair around so he could be in behind the scenes of this segment. It was really odd to me. But I think in this one, she kind of already knew something was terribly wrong. And God knows what this man has already told her behind the scenes. I don't think he told her that he did anything with her daughter. I think it was just more manipulative rhetoric. I couldn't have done it. I don't know what happened to her. I dropped her off at school. They probably at this point went through her phone. He's probably already pointing out she ran away. Here's the proof. And we don't even know if she was the one that sent that text message. It could have been him setting this all up. I mean, we have a lot of stuff, but again, we don't know those facts. Those are facts that help us develop theories and speculation, and we're missing those key facts. But right off the gate, this lady is very shaky. She's very bouncy. She's very anxious. She's anxious. So that's already telling me that this is out of the ordinary for her. That she, if she really thought her daughter ran away, I don't think that she would be acting this way. She would be more calm. She wouldn't be as fidgety. She would think her daughter's in the woods somewhere. She's not thinking the worst. Her body language is telling me she's already went to the worst. She's already got that gut instinct that something is terribly wrong and this may not end well. Whether she's in denial of that or not, her body language is exuding it, in my opinion. Now, we are going to find out what the body language experts say later today around 12:30. They have prepared a video that is going to be premiering at 12:30 today. So I'm interested in seeing what their assessments are related to this as well. But she seems really nervous up front for me. When I went back and looked at this, I thought maybe she was just scared to death for her daughter. But, she didn't have enough information at this moment. At this moment, she really only thought her daughter disappeared or, ran away. So why is she exuding all this nervousness way up front if she didn't have something telling her in the pit of her stomach something's not right? That's just my opinion. So let's get on with it. I can tell you also, this is a good example of involuntary movement. I don't think she even realizes that she's bouncing like that. This is all that this is why the body language. Now, is body language 100%? I truly don't believe it is. I truly don't believe, I believe that the behavior panel, I believe that they have honed in on very specific traits, but those traits, you got to have experience in that to understand, is that really what it's saying? Because other people, they do make movements with their bodies that could resemble just normal movements that could resemble some type of deception when there's no deception at all. So do I believe that body language is 100%? I do not. I think that the people on the behavior panel have a craft that's finely tuned. And that's a little different than, say, me or other people out there that watch body language, because there's a lot of variables in body language. And those variables are what makes the behavioral panel so great in what they do, is because they have a good understanding of all those variables that let them be able to adjust and say, even though normally that would look like a deceptive body movement, actually in conjunction with this, it's not. So, they have that ability. They have a finely tuned craft. And so I hope you guys pick that up. I hope everybody's over there watching that. I know I'm probably not going to be able to watch it as it's being premiered, but I will go back later and review it before our live tomorrow, so we have something to talk about. So I'm very interested in that. But getting back to this, just her normal behavior is a problem for me. I have to be honest with you. Okay. And I believe that they are. Um, I'm not sure how they're going to talk about her going to memory. If you notice, her eyes were moving and not looking direct; they were looking up and over. There's no sound, no audio. Huh. Interesting. Hold on a second. It shouldn't be muted. Am I muted? There's no sound. How about now? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me at all? Okay, you guys can hear me. No, just the video. Okay, can you guys hear it now? So you guys can you hear, but not the video? Okay. Interesting. Well, the video I'm hearing through my audio, so let me see site settings real quick. Camera, allow. Microphone, allow. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I got you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear this now? I'm going to put it back up and you guys are going to have to tell me whether you hear this because I might have to reset. Can you guys hear that? Let me see if I got something else going on here. I just hate audio issues. They drive me absolutely bonkers. No. All right. Let me go back here. Let me just get that. Let me refresh this and see if that helps. Okay, how about that? Are we hearing the voice? Are we hearing volume? It's taking me 20 seconds. It's taking me 20 seconds. Can one of my mods please, Sonia, can you please let me, no sound. Okay, give me just a moment. We're going to have to go down for a second. I can't handle audio issues. All right, let me just get back. All right. Okay, let's try it now. Can we hear now? Can we hear that? No. Of course. All right. Let me take you guys off of my audio. For fuck's sake. I'm so over this shit. Okay. Let's see if we can hear it now. These audio problems. Can we hear? Can we hear now? Okay. Well, then we're over it. I'm literally over it. So let me get it up on my fucking phone since everything is not going to be working. This is ridiculous. How can I not have audio over there? Like literally, how can I not have audio over there? All right, give me just a moment, guys. I'm sorry. I'm shutting the whole system down. I don't know how to have a show without showing you guys what I need to show you guys in my show. So we're going to stay tuned. Stay tuned. I don't know what else to do. So we're shutting everything down.
Okay. So the first question is if I can have your last name, and spell them both out for me.
Okay.
Can you guys hear that?
Soto, JENNIFERSOTO.
I wish one of my mods can just, instead of me having to wait for the response in my chat, we hear it now. Thank you. Okay.
I feel like I can't breathe.
When I don't want them texting, they text. When I need them to text, I don't get a text. No offense. I love it. I love it. I'm just stressed out. That's okay. All right, guys, we're back up and running. So I apologize for that. I don't know what was going on, but sounds like we got the problem fixed. So again, coming back, the first thing I noticed is her shaking. Okay, so we're going to have to do all of this all over again. Well, you texted me that. Oh, okay. Well, but now I got it. But no worries. Just a little raw this morning now that I'm having all these audio issues, but that's okay. Shit happens. Shit happens every day. But one of the first things I noticed in going back to what I was saying before we started having all these audio issues is, she has her body is involuntarily, I don't think she notices how much she's shaking while giving this interview. And that's telling me that, at this point, she probably still thinks her daughter, or what he's putting in her mind is that her daughter just ran away. Well, she's awfully nervous. Deep breaths. No, I'm just going to throw something. Okay. Violent Betty. Can you guys does anybody have a machete? I heard I have a name called Machete Betty, but I don't own a machete yet. So if you have a machete, I want to make sure that we make sure that these people that like to talk about me not having factual information, when they don't have factual information, we've got to try to make sure that they have factual information. So if somebody can order me a machete and send it here, we'll be Machete Betty today. But getting back to her, she's shaking an awful lot. I think she's in denial. I think she knows something more is going on because her body language is just screaming that she feels something more is going on, that this is not normal.
All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
And when she was looking up, she's not making eye contact. She's going to memory. Look at that. She's looking into her memory to find what to say. You know, does that really mean a lot? It could. It could not. Um, she might just be just so nervous, not thinking. You know, we have to think of shock value in situations like this. A mom dealing with a missing child and finds out her child hasn't been to school all day. This is the first time she's having to deal with it, according to the family. So all of this is new to her, but her behavior, like if she thought her daughter ran away, I feel like she would have been more calm. She wouldn't be this anxious. I just feel like her anxiety in the pit of her stomach, she knows something is not right. She just knows it.
Where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you?
I mean, that's an authentic expression, in my opinion. When she said we're all just so worried, I felt like that was an authentic expression. And if I think that that's an authentic expression, then that tells me, at least in my mind, that she doesn't have knowledge that her daughter is gone. She, you know, I do believe when she says that I believe her.
First realized, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school.
And so she started saying, and this is the reason that I started thinking of the manipulation. Okay. This is where I really truly believe in this manipulation campaign that he stated, because I don't see the mom saying that we dropped her off if for any reason he wasn't in her head. She doesn't seem like she would be changing the narrative at all on her own. I just don't believe it. So when she gave this initial interview and started talking about I think that he's the one that said, you have to say you were with me. You have to say you were with me. If they think that you weren't with me and I was with her all by myself, they're going to start looking at me. And you know me. You know I could never do anything to your daughter, to our daughter, right? He'd probably be calling her our daughter. Ours, you know, trying to show that he's a caring person. She seems fine while saying her name. Hold on one second. Leandra says she seems fine while saying her name and spelling it. Then all of a sudden she goes too nervous and sad. The change is weird, because I really believe in the pit of her stomach, she knows something's not right here, that she knows her daughter didn't just run away. I think, you know, she's at first she's probably dealing with just a lot and just in denial. I don't think anybody, if your child disappeared or you're having some behavioral she even indicates they didn't even have any arguments in the foreseeable like week or something leading up to her disappearance. So I would have to think that the mom, you know, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't believe this mother. You know, I believe that she had uneasy feelings at some point, but I just don't believe that it's hard for me. It's hard for me.
She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry.
She's listening to her other kids. That's got to be so hard. Which brings me up another fact. I hear a child in the background. Is that child male or female? And this guy was around that child as well. Has anybody looked into that other child? And I have have to say that it looks like this lady also, just to let you know, it doesn't look like she got much sleep the night before. Her daughter had disappeared the day before. She's on the camera today. And, a lot of this could be just simple exhaustion as well. Just, lack of sleep does a number to the body and the mind. And also remembering and saying those things are a little slower too.
Sorry about that.
She looks exhausted, guys.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
You share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I know you had conversations with detectives. Not sure what that conversation is, but whichever you feel comfortable sharing, that we'll put the awareness out there.
Yeah, she was spotted walking by the church, by the middle school on the cameras.
And so I believe her here. I believe her here. I believe that that's what she believes. And I believe that this is the information that this lady had at this time. I really truly believe that she was basically told her daughter ran away at first. I think I think early on, they were probably pressuring her. They probably had her at the sheriff's office all night questioning and interrogating her. She probably does not believe this man could harm her daughter because, again, she laid in the bed next to him for years. So I just want people to have a different perspective of her. Now, does she know? Would she have put her daughter in harm's way? Who knows? This day and age, you can't trust anybody. Not even mommies and daddies. It's sad to say because of how twisted our world has gotten.
They saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away around 9 a.m. heading towards the school, but she never made it.
What has the school said? Have you get in contact with the school?
Yes, that they're doing everything they can. They've given me all their resources. The principals called me. They've looked at their cameras. I don't think they've caught anything on the cameras is too far away from the sidewalk. Everything is too grainy.
So she's even acknowledging that things are a little too grainy on the sidewalk. So I think it may be wishful thinking. And yeah, law said her story doesn't add up because she was lying for her boyfriend. I truly do believe she was trying to cover for her boyfriend. But I also believe, with that being said, it's because she didn't believe he had anything to do with her daughter. So that again is, potato. Some people are going to analyze this much differently than I do. And as information comes forward, I may change my analysis. But right now, we don't have enough. Even with all these 8 videos that we're about to go through, we still don't have enough to determine whether this woman had any knowledge. We'll have a clearer understanding of what I think happened. But I don't think we're going to have we're going to know. By the time we're done. I don't think we're going to. Oh, thank you, Dixie, Kentucky girl. It's nice to see you, by the way. And Lori Lowe, I see you're in here. Good morning. Phoenix, it's nice to see you. What did the bird say? What bird? Is that a bird?
Can't see specific faces, but they've looked. I'm just waiting to hear anything else from them.
Is this normal behavior?
Not at all.
To just not show up or call or text or anything?
Not at all, no. She, from time to time, she will leave her cell phone at home accidentally, and that's actually what happened yesterday. She left her phone at home. She went to school. But that happens from time to time. She's got ADHD, her memory. She's very forgetful. So yeah, there's no way to track her right now because the detectives now have her phone. But this isn't normal behavior now.
What are they talking about? Sonia, you might have to go back and unblock some people because I didn't know who was saying what and I didn't know who they were. So go back and unblock those people. But is there what are they talking about the bird? I mean, if it's insulting, then just keep them blocked. But these are a bunch of people I've never seen in this chat before saying something about a parrot and a bird. If there is a bird that I didn't see, please unblock them. If there's not, keep them blocked. And anybody that says anything derogatory or rude in this chat is going to be immediately. She has a parrot. Oh, is that what we were hearing in the background? Instead of a child, it was a parrot? Okay, then go unblock those people. Sorry, guys. I thought they were being rude. Sorry, Phoenix, Shay Shay, and Casper. I blocked you. Okay, sorry, guys. I didn't recognize your names and I saw you guys. I thought you guys were trolling. So I apologize about that.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
You guys can go back and unblock my people, right? Like I said, we're no nonsense over here. So I don't want to hurt it. It wasn't a bird. It was an auto feeder for the pet with a parrot voice saying, give me food. Oh, okay. So Lindsay, thank you for explaining that. So anybody that was blocked is getting unblocked, and I apologize about that. There was 3 people. I didn't know what was going on.
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday.
So why are they speaking about a birthday party if they just had a birthday party on Sunday? I guess is one of my other questions that I would have.
She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night and
sorry, Shay Shay.
Yeah, that was it. I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner.
Whoa, we just missed something. Hold on, let's go back.
I told her good night and yeah, that was it. I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner.
So she says right then and there that maybe she was saying we because they're the collective we, but here she says it wasn't me that took her to school. It was my partner. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys are all back. Sorry about that. Heidi, will you protect me in here? Oh, Troy. I don't know who Heidi is, but it's nice to see you. It's a car. I don't know what. The family has a cat. The dispenser was feeding the cat. It's on a timer. Okay, so there we have it. So it was a pet feeder, not a parrot. So she's also explaining that even though she said we up front, within 4 minutes of this interview, she's explaining that it's her partner that takes her daughter to school. So let's just go back and listen to that again, just so everybody's on the know.
And yeah, that was it. I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. Yeah.
And she even said that, and that was the end of her sentence. It was him that took her to school, but yeah. So I think she has, at this point, she's starting to feel a little uncomfortable with the situation. I think she's uneasy, and I think she doesn't know what's going on. I think her head is spinning at this moment with all the possibilities it could be.
13?
She's 13 years old. Yes.
13, Madeline. What are you thinking right now?
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her.
Yeah. I think she was spot on about that. I think her mother intuition let her know that something wasn't right. But I think she also believed the man she was laying next to for the last few years in her bed. And when he said he dropped her off at school, I truly believe she thought he dropped her off at school. And when he told her that he dropped her down the street from the school, I believe she believed he dropped her down the street from the school. She was becoming of that age where, she was starting to get more and more picky and probably wanted to be more and more independent. So I've seen parents drop kids off down the road from school and let them walk up. Hell, I think even my parents have done that a time or two. And that might have been the manipulation factor, though. the asteroid from space. Maybe that's what he said to get in her head. If they know we're having family problems, they know we're fighting, they're going to look right at me. You cannot let them know this. There's just, I feel like there's a manipulation. I don't feel like in this particular, usually we can look at a family, members of families and look at their lifestyle and know whether they're a piece of crap or not. Okay. Some are a lot harder than others. I mean, look at the serial killer aspect of it. These are people that live amongst us for years, brutalizing people around us for years, and we are none the wiser because they are so normal and manipulative. In many cases like this, say like the Wells, we have a plethora of information related to all the crimes, 40 years of crimes, just piece of crap parents had every single one of their children taken from us. Like, we can see that. We get tangible stuff and can see that those parents are garbage and treated their children horribly and made them live in environments that they should not have lived in. In this case, we don't have those elements. We have a mom that goes to work. We have a mom that doesn't live a high-risk lifestyle. We have a stable home. We have a good school. We've got a clean environment, one that a mom, it doesn't appear to be an alcoholic or a drug addict or have a litany of violent offenses behind her. These are all the things that are leading me. Like, normally we come into these cases and we can clearly see that there's problems in the home and in the family. In this particular case, we're not seeing any of that. We're not seeing the drug element. We're not seeing the alcohol element. We're not seeing the violence element here. We're in all respects, we're seeing a normal home environment. So how can we have a normal home environment and a mom with knowledge that her daughter is being SA'd at home? We have to look at those elements. Those pieces are not fitting together well to point the finger at mom right now. They're just not. Let's keep going. Maybe they will. Maybe something will come up in these 8 videos that might help point us in the right direction.
This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school.
So mom's being honest here. Like, I believe mom is being honest here. Mom is saying, look, there's something seriously wrong. She wouldn't just normally get up and not go to school. She wouldn't do these things. You know, I feel like somebody's taken her. And the reason why she feels like somebody's taken her is because she truly believes her boyfriend dropped her off.
I don't know what to think.
Friends.
She's in shock to me.
The friends' parents, you've contacted and went through every single person?
Everyone that we know that she knows, we've contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well. And we haven't come up with anything yet.
So Sonia says she's not being truthful. I agree she's not being truthful. I agree she's not. Don't misunderstand me. I agree she's not being truthful. I absolutely believe she's not being truthful. I believe she's being truthful. That's why I'm pointing out the stuff I believe she's being truthful about, because I think those things are important. I do believe she's not being truthful. It's just the reason why she's not being truthful is what's the difference between some people and me. Like, I believe she's not being truthful because she was manipulated into not being truthful, as opposed to her being a party to a crime. It seems like everybody's wanting to make her a party to a crime, and I don't believe she's a party to a crime. Did she have knowledge that something wasn't right? I believe that there was something there, especially in light if they truly were broke up and he was just living there.
Hunter's Creek rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, like if there is one, if they can do one. I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, a gas station, church, I think people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now.
But those things are also up to the discretion of the investigators as well. Like if they're, for example, if they realize that she was duped as well, what was her intent? Was her intent to mislead the investigation, or was her intent to move the investigation along and not focus? You see what I'm saying? Like either way you look at it, if she did lie, she's in the wrong for doing so. Okay. With that being said, what were the reasons for her? Because she looks like a loving mother that cares about her daughter greatly, in my opinion. But again, I feel like that there's more to the story than meets the eye. Like we don't know how. I'd like to get more history on him and his behaviors, because I think when we learn more about him, we're going to learn more about this environment behind their closed doors. Because let's face it, he's the criminal here. He's the one that has these unhealthy and unnatural obsessions and compulsions. So I don't think it's her. I don't think she's the one that's getting off on these twisted and sick things. I don't know. I'm still on the fence.
Yeah.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain.
So much
to bring her back home. What have the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
I mean, that they're doing the best they can. They've had detectives come out, interview us. They took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
Can you imagine what this mother must have thought when she learned that her daughter's backpack and school issued computer was in the dumpster at their apartment complex? That had to have been unnerving.
Do you have any inkling where she possibly could be? Like if you would say, okay, last time I went to work and came back, she was at James' house or Sabrina's house, and maybe I forgot to check that house, or she played at this park one weekend.
Well, that doesn't make sense, because they couldn't have just been together for unless that was when the person lived with them, was when they were only together for about 6 months. And that's concerning for me, because when you have children in the home, I think a good year needs to pass before you bring a person into the home. In all honesty, I think 2 years needs to pass, because here's what I've learned about human behavior. We can all be somebody that we're not for a couple years. But after about a year, that illusion starts unraveling, because you can only keep up a show for so long before you allow your real self to start infiltrating back in. And so the manipulation, the grasp of the family would happen in that first year of being that the Prince Charming, if you will. So you fall in love with who you think they are. So when they change, you're still hoping that they're going to go back to that person that you fell in love with, but they never do. So I really truly believe that families and stuff, when you're dating somebody new, not that you shouldn't bring them around your children and acclimate your children with your significant other, especially if the relationship is starting to move in a more serious type of committed relationship. You're going to want to integrate, the significant other or the person you're dating in with your family, and start introducing them to your children and stuff like that. But as far as allowing them to be around your children 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you need to get past that honeymoon phase, in my opinion. Once you're through that honeymoon phase and you know who this person is, you're not going to know who a person is in 6 months. I'm sorry, you're just not. I'm 44 years old. I can promise you there's not one person in this world that is going to date me and know everything about my life and who I am as a person in 6 months.
There's just no way.
Maybe she went back there or something like that.
We've looked everywhere we could have thought, and anywhere she would have been. She would have known to wait for me at the school.
Exactly.
But we did check where if she could have walked. My mom's office is close to the school. We checked there. We checked the walking paths that she could have taken. We've checked all of her friend's house.
Like, I believe her.
I think we've checked everywhere I could think of, honestly.
What do you think?
In my opinion, these statements she's making is truthful. Now, the ones before, she was stretching and saying we, but she within 4 minutes of this interview, she was saying, you know, I usually don't drop her off. That's my partner's job.
Oh gosh, I just had it tip of my tongue. What was she wearing?
She was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it.
And you said this is not like her.
Not at all.
To run away, an argument, anything like that to provoke her?
She's never done anything like that.
So, like, I would think this is kind of my theory. Okay, just hear me out. If she really was lying for this, or she knew more than this, if she knew that this essay was going on, that her significant other was doing this to her child, I feel like she would have been throwing the case into a different direction. I don't think she would have been saying that, you know, I don't think she would be making these statements about, you know, what she was wearing, how she was acting, the fact that they weren't fighting. You know, she's telling them how she went through to all of her friends and stuff like that, trying to find her. She went to her mom's place. Like, I would see if for any reason, if she knew that this stuff was going on, I feel like she would have been doing something different. She would have been throwing the case into a different direction. She would have been pulling it away from them. She would have been talking about, you know, we've been having behavioral issues. She's been talking about running away, you know, for months and months and months. She hasn't been happy. She doesn't like the rules. Like, I feel like the mom would have been more assertive in trying to throw the case. Like, she's not. She's sitting here saying, you know, something happened to her. We know something happened to her. This is not like her. You know, that she would never not go to school. She would never not come home. They would have been explaining. I feel like mom would have been explaining more, like, yeah, we've been having problems. She's, you know, we're just want her friends to tell us where she's at. We know she's run away. You know, her mom's not having those conversations here on this interview. This interview is much different. This interview is, you know, I do believe something happened to her. This is not like her. She would never do this. We need to find her. And I do believe that that's what the mom is doing. I believe that she would be saying other things if she had this knowledge of this disgusting and horrible family secret. Like, I would just feel like, I don't know.
No. And we haven't had any arguments recently to have this outcome.
See, like, even in this, she would have been saying, yeah, we've been recently arguing about certain things. And, you know, we've even had to take her, like, she would be on a different mindset. If she was trying to throw the case, she would be on the mindset of trying to say that this young girl ran away, not that she's gone, not that she was abducted, not that she feels like her daughter, something major is going on with her daughter. She's concerned. I think she is concerned. And I think we're misjudging some of these things. I really do.
What school?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Tom, any questions? No. Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling, the way the family's feeling, Madeline?
We're desperate for any answers, anything that you could do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if you see my daughter, just please bring her home.
Again, yeah, Sonia, I mean, I like I said, I do believe she lied. I do believe she lied to law enforcement. But the reason why she lied, that's where I'm getting at. Why would she lie to law enforcement?
I don't think a loving mother would lie to law enforcement intentionally. So if she intentionally lied to law enforcement, why would she lie to law enforcement? This does not look like a mother that wants her daughter not that doesn't want her daughter at home and doesn't want her daughter healthy and happy and safe. I just don't I'm not getting that vibe from her. Some people are. Some people are getting a completely different vibe than Bullhorn Betty. I can promise you that because I've been watching this stuff on YouTube and other platforms where they're condemning this lady. I'm not there yet. If I can find something to condemn this lady over, I will condemn her over it. But so far, I haven't. Yes, she's been. I absolutely 100% agree. She was deceptive in certain statements she made. I 100% believe that. The question is, my difference is why. The why does matter in this matter. In this case, the why does matter. Why would she intentionally lie? I think she lied because she didn't think her boyfriend did it.
I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt.
Like, I feel she knows something is wrong. Like the way she's saying, I hope you're not hurt. I hope you're safe. In the pit of this woman's stomach, she knows something bad has happened to her daughter. That is my opinion. In the pit of her stomach, she knows something bad has happened to her daughter. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it in my mind. I believe that this woman, as she sits a day after her daughter disappeared, knows there is something majorly wrong, and she knows that her daughter is in danger. I just don't think she knew the danger came from her home. I really don't.
When did you notice that she was missing? Because this was at the beginning of the morning.
She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up and she wasn't at school.
So we're going in 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No word, no text message, no messages anywhere from her. I've looked at all her social medias. I've looked at all her games she could have played with, any app. No weird conversations, no.
So why would the mom be going through all of this? I mean, she's basically saying that it has to be somebody she knows without even realizing that's what she's saying. I'm going to let this play. I'll be right back.
Nothing strange. Everything was conversations with just normal friends or us.
She knows how to get home by herself, as if, like, let's just say, take a bus or an Uber or something like that. She would know how to get home alone, correct?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she would know how to get home. Maybe, I mean, I'm thinking if someone got in the car with her and if she pointed the way, what roads, she probably could figure out how to get. But like, does she know her full address? I don't think she does.
Which would give me it just puts in my brain that she always comes home with someone.
She always comes home with me.
There's no need for her to really learn. Okay. And you said no time? He knows everything. All right. The first question is if I can get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephan Stearns, STEPHAN STERNS.
All right, so Stephan, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
He's ultra emotional. His eyes, that was this is more telling. This aspect of the interview for me is a little more telling than the mom, because mom's nervous, mom's anxious. She's sitting there waiting for information. He's acting like he already knows the result. You get that? She's nervous and anxious and waiting for information. And to me, that's what her. Now, again, I believe the mom knew something bad happened to her daughter. It is of my opinion, and my opinion alone, not even collectively my channel's opinion, my opinion, that she lied because she didn't believe this man could harm her daughter.
And I believe this man was in her ears when all this stuff was breaking off, saying law enforcement's going to look right at me. You know, I could never do this. I was alone with her. You know, I just feel like those would have been the conversations. But his interview to me is more telling. He's way too upset for the lack of information that they have. Yes, she said we took her to school. Then she said it was just him, and that that took her. I'm sorry, I don't believe her. In my opinion, she knows more. Yeah, I do believe she knows more. I just don't think she realized she knew more. I think this lady, as I stated in the beginning, I feel like this is a good-looking guy. It doesn't look like, not to be offensive to the mom, but I feel like she had self-esteem issues, and she had this gorgeous, tall-looking man that was paying her attention and wanted a committed relationship with her. And I think that she honestly was so about him that, like many other people, they glossed over. They didn't believe that this person could do it. They didn't believe that these things could happen. This is not the first time we've seen this stuff happen either. And I'm actually kind of surprised more people aren't using this perspective, because we see this all the time where the significant other has manipulated the child and the mother so much so that there was this facade that nobody could look past. We've seen it before. And I'm applying that here because I try to apply the same to most of these cases when we were diving into them and getting information and factual information. Because right now, yeah, we feel she's lying. We know she's lied, but we have no information to tell us why she would have done that. The only thing we can assume for some of us is that she must have known. But is that the only assumption that we can derive from the same information?
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations?
So why is he so emotional, but mom's not? I mean, mom was emotional. She was, again, anxious. She was, she couldn't sit still. That's anxiousness. She looked like she didn't sleep the night before, which could amplify that anxiety and that slowness in her responses. It could explain it. Not that it does. I'm just saying it could. And then you got this man that's ultra upset, crying, trying to make people feel bad for him, going out of his way to show emotion. And this type of emotion, he's probably, oh my gosh, she's like a daughter to me. He's probably manipulating this woman every time he opens his mouth. He is a predator. For people not to even consider that mom is one of his victims is a little concerning. Because mom being a victim of his as well could explain all of this. Her behavior, her lies. Could. Not that it does. I'm just saying it could.
That y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out.
Sleep most of the way. That's because she was already deceased.
But I love her. She said, thanks. Love you too. That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off.
And he was the last person that was with her. And he seems awfully emotional. And we've been hearing a bunch of stuff that he worked for Disney, that he didn't work for Disney, now that he works for Disney. I truly believe this man worked for Disney at some point. There is a culture there. There is a culture. And it's a very sick and twisted culture, in my opinion.
She can be. And we're scared. We just want her home.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
It's hard not to. As soon as he asks that, the man starts crying. This man's guilty as sin. This man is showing a lot of red flags to me in his behavior and in his mannerism. Much more red flags than the significant other, the mom. This right here, he's acting entirely too emotional for the information that they have right now. Like, I would expect mom to be this way.
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day.
Like any other day. So how many other times did you drop her off down the road and just drive away? I mean, that is wrong. I'm not going to sit there and say that a child being dropped down the road and walking to school. Again, my family has done that to me in the past. Where I didn't want, I don't want, yeah, you know what, Dad, just go ahead and drop me off here. Get on to work. I'll walk the rest of the way. Done that many times. I'm sure many of you guys have had your children do that to you. Or they're going to like the skating rink or something, and they don't want mommy dropping them off at the front door. So you drop them around, on the back side of the building and let them walk around. Yeah, there's a lot of red flags with him. Not as many with her. That's why I think she was manipulated. I really do. I think that he got into that lady's head. I think she has self-esteem issues. I think she has other issues going on with her. And I'm looking at this guy. He's a good-looking guy. I really do believe he targeted the mom for the daughter. And if he targeted the mom for the daughter, then he's been manipulating the mom the entire time.
It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well.
So a lot stronger than him. So she's holding it together a lot better than he's holding it together. A step parent. Can't hold his shit together. The strong man that's supposed to protect his family, why mom breaks down. He's the one breaking down like a little bee. Why mommy is having to stay strong.
But it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is.
No, the reality keeps hitting for you because you realize what you did and it's only a matter of time. Let's break it down. You acted irrationally. You had to cover up your crime. You had to lie to everybody, and it's only a matter of time before it catches up to you. That's why you're like the way you are.
We don't know if she's safe. We're just scared. We just want her home.
Have you, literally?
Thank you. Please do. I'd like a confirmation if possible.
Yeah, I even went out with the cops where I had dropped her off. And
I even went out to the cops where I dropped her off. When cops start taking you to locations to point out stuff, you're already behind the 8 ball. You're just too stupid to realize it. Cops don't typically take you out to the crime of the scene unless they want to review your body language and how you're reacting when you go out there.
We looked all up and down the road, all along the communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising.
Oh, really? Yeah, so you didn't scope the area out first? Or you just didn't care because you really weren't there? Interesting.
The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving
He emphasized her. They mentioned seeing her.
And that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage and not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
They said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
What was the?
So it could have been a very different girl. We don't know. Even in the grainy video, could they tell whether she was wearing the outfit that they described her wearing that morning? And I don't believe mom was awake when she left. I think that was the problem as well. I don't think mom was awake or anything when she left. And I don't know.
Language, not language verbally, language, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my
was
friends?
Happy. She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had a 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together here, and she was just very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings
Freaking twisted.
a lot of joy to us, and we just not knowing.
Oh, but you know, don't you? He couldn't keep eye contact with not a damn person this entire interview.
So the unknown is killing you.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down.
See, he only looks up for a second and moves his eyes. He cannot look somebody in his eyes. He feels like if somebody looks in his eyes deep enough, they'll see the truth.
Not feeling her presence here is. Sorry.
This is a man that knows what he did.
It's hard.
He's crying for himself.
I know you're fine. Don't need to apologize.
Much more upset than the mom. Much more upset than the mom. Mom is concerned, lack of sleep. Boyfriend has a sobbing baby.
What do you want our viewers to know when they see this?
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl.
That you took off this planet.
Just please be nice to her. Bring her.
Please be nice to her. What the fuck? Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
Well, if you find her, tell her that we love her. Wherever she is, I hope she's okay.
I hope she's okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, Cupcake. All right, Cupcake. Let's keep moving. I'm done with him. Again, just to let you know, behavior panel right here, 12:30 today. You're going to want to be there for that.
According to records just obtained by West 2, the prime suspect in Madeline Soto's case sexually abused her for almost 2 years.
Michelle Imparato joins us.
I'm sorry. That's the problem I have right there. I don't believe the mom knew that this was going on. I really don't. I don't know what he said to her and I'm talking about Madeline, to help keep her mouth shut. I don't know what he said to her. And even if she did say she doesn't like him or went up to her mom to try to talk to her about it, she wouldn't have used that he's essaying her. Yeah, I know. We're going to all have different opinions. And that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, a mom knows. I think she was in denial. I really do. I'm looking at this lady. I just don't believe she's that nefarious. What you guys are trying to convince me is that this mom knew and allowed this stuff to happen. That's what everybody's trying to convince the people here on YouTube. And I understand that you guys do believe. I don't believe that. I wholeheartedly do not believe that this woman allowed her daughter to be abused in that home every single day or however often it happened. I don't believe that. For us to believe that, we'd have to believe that the mom is culpable, that she helped. I don't believe that. I believe this family was victimized by this man. I believe he was a predator that targeted this woman to get to that daughter. That's what I believe. Now, do I know that for a fact? No. The people that are here, like Snow, she believes the mom believes, whatever, somewhere in there that you believe the mom may have, whatever. I don't know what your theory is completely. So she says that she believes her mom is jealous of the daughter. Listen, I've been around piece of crap moms. My mom's not one of them, but I've been around piece of crap moms that don't mind sleeping with your boyfriend. Okay, this is the Candace Harrer of the Americas, right? The Candace Harrers of the America. I didn't get that from this lady. I'm not getting that from this lady at all. That she is jealous of her daughter. Maybe I will. I mean, we still got a few more videos left to go through here. Maybe I'll get that vibe, but I don't get that vibe at all. My vibe, that vibe is, if I'm wrong about it, then I got a broken vibe. I got a broken vibe. Because I'm sorry. It's hard for me to conceptualize that this mom was a participant in her daughter's death. There's not there's not a scintilla of information that has brought me to that point yet. Factual information, not feelings, not emotions, not, oh, it must have been. Because remember, everybody here on YouTube, a lot of people said it was impossible for Brian Koberger to take out 4 people in 9 minutes, yet he did. So it is absolutely possible that this man abused this child without the mom's knowledge. I just want to put that in perspective for everybody. Because this is not our first rodeo with these predators. And I can tell you, almost more times than not, people had no clue. None. No clue. Around these people every day, around their children every day, and none of them had a clue in the world that this was going on. So I'm applying that experience, that actual experience with this case. Because again, this is a predator. Kind of like a serial killer. How do serial killers live amongst us for years and decades without us? Because they are manipulators, master manipulators. Why are we not applying that here? Is my only question. She's wrong. She's going to get arrested and she's going to go and sit in jail. You know, I mean, period. If she really is involved, that's where the case is going to lead, and she is going to eventually go to jail. But again, it has to be more than we feel she may have known something. Right now, everybody's telling me they feel, they think, but nobody's providing me any scintilla of evidence to support those feelings. So I just, it's not to criticize anybody. I just want to make sure that we're all stepping back because we can all feel a certain way, but just because we feel it doesn't mean it's true. We need to have information that supports that theory before we start clubbing a woman over her head that just lost her daughter, in my opinion. Just, different ways of viewing things. Not that anybody's right or wrong. We're all going to have our opinions about this.
In studio with more on what we're learning. Michelle.
Well, Nancy and Stuart, Stephan Stearns is in jail on charges of sexual battery and possession of child pornography. And this afternoon,
that means he recorded these things. He recorded these things. So we'd have to believe that he's doing all this and mom knows about it. I just want to put that in perspective, that mom knows this is going on. How would you feel? I got a lot of women in here. You guys may say you would know. But many of you guys are living with men that aren't the fathers of your children. What if this was you? Oh, it could never be, right? I bet you she thought it could never be her as well. You're laying next to a man that you don't believe would ever harm your child until you wake up and your child's missing. I just want to make sure that we're putting all perspectives on the table. If she did something wrong, she did something wrong, and I will tear her ass up for it. I'm just not there yet. I have no. I want to know what suspicion mom had to go through daughter's phone. Well, the suspicion might have been her daughter was missing, and she left her phone there. I mean, that would be a natural reaction for any parent that has a missing child. The first thing you do is go into their room and check their computer, their history. And if there's a phone, you most likely will go through their phone. Unless it's said that she went through her phone before this event. And if so, then why? Then we have to look at the fact that her mom had knowledge that her daughter wanted to run away because, according to law enforcement, that was sent to one of her friends days previously to this event, potentially.
We obtained one of his search warrants, and according to the documents, Stearns spoke with investigators after Soto was reported missing last week. He told investigators he was fine with them looking through his phone as part of the investigation, but told them he had accidentally performed a factory reset on it just the day
Just even that with Honey Dip. But what if you woke up tomorrow and you're in this lady's shoes? You know, it's easy to sit in judgment. But, and if I was out there and I had my boots on the ground and I found that, hey, from what I hear, because when we get on the boots on the ground, people, we talk to a lot of people. We get, we keep a lot of people off the record. The people that are willing to go on the record, we put them on the record. And in a case like this, I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that this mother has no history of being a horrible mom. None. And she's going to allow this to happen to her daughter. Like, I have to put my mom in this category. I have to put a lot of my beautiful mods and our coffee club family in this position. And I have to try to look at you guys and say that you guys would be willing to do this. And I can't. And that's the way it is with the mom. Like, usually if we have a bad mom, we have indicators. We have indicators that we have a bad mom. There's no indicators here. Like, I'm looking at the whole, not just this one small little aspect of their life. I'm looking at all of their life. I'm looking at before this event. I'm looking at after this event. I'm looking at all of these things. And usually in cases like this, we have a clear spiraling effect. We have clear indicators that help us along the way, especially if mom's a bad mom. We've got none of these indicators here. So I'm supposed to ignore that and just, go straight to mom did it. Mom knows. But I can't. We have to look at the whole truth and nothing but the truth, all of the facts, not just this one small area. And her mom, for me, seems like she was a pretty damn good mom. So I'm having to remove that knowledge to say, no, she's a piece of garbage mom that allowed her daughter to be abused. It's a big stretch for me. Because I know that the past, she was a good mom. You don't go from good mom. I mean, I'm trying to think of my mom. You don't go from being a great mom to saying, hey, here, use my daughter. I just don't see those things going on. And again, if her daughter did indicate that she did not like this guy, how was that explained to her? When kids are this young, they are very well manipulated. He would have had control of that child. You guys are removing that factor as well. The intimidation factor he had over her every single day living in that house with him. That in and of itself may have prevented her from telling her mother the truth. We have to put all the factors in place to get a good reality. A lot of people are picking and choosing what facts they're going to put in place, but we have to put them all in place. We have to put them all in place.
Disappeared. Now, despite that, investigators say they were able to find pictures and videos showing he raped Madeline repeatedly as far back as August of 2022 when she was 11, and that the abuse happened.
2022. Okay, it's 2024. So this woman has lived with this man, took care of this man, fed him, did family outings with this man, watched his behavior around his daughter every single day, and I just don't see where she would have had knowledge of this. Not to this extent. Maybe that he was rough with her. Maybe she didn't like him. Maybe it's because he's a disciplinary figure and that would have been what he would have been manipulating with her. Oh, she's just mad at me because I punished her earlier. She's just saying that because she's mad at me. You know, he was constantly, and again, you've got to put the fact of lack of self-esteem in there with the mom not wanting to believe this, not wanting to lose her good-looking man. All these things have to come into play. You've got to understand the psyche.
Happened in the house where he, Soto, and her mother lived. They already had evidence that he had abused her after she turned 12. Soto was 13 years old when she was reported missing on February 26th. Soto's mother told investigators that Stearns, who is her boyfriend, had dropped her off near Hunters Creek Middle School, but found out at dismissal that Soto had never made it.
So I think, you know, again, I'm not willing to beat up mom just yet. I'm just not going to do it here on this channel just yet. You guys can do it in the chat. You guys are more than welcome to conversate in the chat about your feelings and, you know, keep it respectful. Don't be a Richard. You know, same rules apply. And I'm not going to take your feelings away from you or how you feel. I just am analyzing this a lot different and looking at a lot of different factors in this case than maybe other people might be applying. And unfortunately, do I believe mom lied? I do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I believe mom was deceptive at first. And I think she realized something major was going on. And I think she was very ultra honest with law enforcement. And that actually may be the reason why law enforcement is not arresting her, because they realized she was also manipulated. A law enforcement is not going to arrest or re-victimize a victim. Okay. Even if they committed a low level crime, or maybe something like her misleading law enforcement at the beginning because she truly did not think her boyfriend could have done this. She thought her daughter ran away and didn't want them focusing on him. She may have said that directly just like that to law enforcement. But I don't see them, if she really had no culpability in the disappearance of her daughter, none, I don't ever see law enforcement ever arresting her. Okay? Even if she did mislead them at the beginning. I just don't see it. Because to be honest with you, they're going to look at it like I'm looking at it. She's already lost too much. She doesn't need to be in jail as well. I think that would be a miscarriage of justice. This woman lost her daughter. And I truly believe she loved her daughter. And truly believe she did not want anything to happen to her daughter. I think she was absolutely 100% in denial. I think she may have had, and I think I'm not going to dismiss my moms in here. You know, moms know. But what do moms know? Moms know something isn't right. Right? That's what they know. They don't have a crystal ball and know specifically what's wrong, but they know something isn't, something's different, right? Something's different in the household. And that very well may be the reason why they were split up at the time, right? Because something was different in the household. Mom was getting those weird vibes. Mom knew something was off. Mom was ready to move this guy on. But she was doing it amicably. Yeah, child endangerment. But child endangerment has to have an intent. You know, you can't just, you can arrest people for accidents and mistakes and stuff like that, but there has to be some type of intent. Like you can't, like, think about it like this. If every parent, if you left your child in the care of somebody, okay, you thought this person was good, you did your due diligence. In this case, this was a significant other that had been in the family for more than a year. But let's apply this to, say, daycares. Right? Let's apply this to, say, daycares. You know something is not, you know something is off, but you don't know. She could have sold her daughter pics, dark web. Yes, she could have. She absolutely could have. But there's usually some type of behavior that supports that. Anybody could sell their children, right? You could be on the web. If you're on the web and show a picture of your child people could equate that to you trying to sell your child. Oh, it's absurd. I know. I'm just putting this into perspective. So you've been a good mom. You've got no history, no drug history, no. I mean, most of these people that are selling their children, they have a substance abuse problem they're trying to support. There's history there. There's stuff like we're now saying, oh, because she's missing, oh, now mom's selling her. Like there's got to be something there besides a feeling. We have to have something to support that theory. This is you see what I'm not trying to pick on you or anything, a waitress. I'm really not. But I'm just saying that we can't just make those assessments and assertions without a scintilla of information to support it. It's unfair. It's unfair to this mom. It's absolutely unfair. Just unfair. Right? Could she? Yeah, of course she could. But usually there is a history. A clear history. And nothing can be done this day and age, especially like that, without using the use of online services. Google, Facebook Marketplace, like there's history, there's forensic data trails. We're just saying, oh, because this girl's, can you imagine this? Let me just put this in perspective. Can you imagine being in a relationship, you thinking that everything is good, everything's normal, you're having some issues, and then let's just take it in both, we're going to do it both ways. We're going to do it both ways with her breaking up with him and her being in a good, solid relationship. And you're in this blissful, unaware stage. Your life is normal. It's stable. You have normal, everyday problems like everybody else. And then one day you wake up, your child's gone, and your boyfriend did it. And now the whole world is breathing down your neck saying that you had something to do with it and you were so blissfully unaware. And maybe, and again, we don't know the family dynamic. What if this woman was the breadwinner working from daylight to dark to support her family because she got this piece of shit sitting on his ass? We don't know the family. Like, we have no information. And here we are saying that she's selling her daughter. It seems a little barbaric to me. That's all I'm saying, is it seems a little barbaric to me. I think we need to give the mom, this devastated mom, a little benefit of the doubt. It's getting harder and harder to do. We know she did lie, but we have to look at why she would be lying. And I think that there's the difference, is the reason why she's lying. Is she lying to cover his ass, or is she lying because she doesn't believe he had anything to do with it? And people are saying, well, she shouldn't lie anyways. I agree with you 100%. You know my standard on this. Honesty is the best policy. Whenever you're dealing with a missed child, you throw everything on the table and give nothing of you give it all. So I feel like at the beginning, she was hesitant to give all. But I think once they said, look, here's what we have, I think she spilled the beans. I think that at that point, she could no longer deny reality. So now this lady is devastated because she's going to have to blame herself for putting her daughter in harm's way because she was in denial. Not that she did something wrong to hurt her child, other than being in completely denial and loving a man she should not have loved. She lied. Yes. At the beginning, she did. Do I believe she maintained those lies? No, I do not.
Year-old Madeline Soto. Why prosecutors are now calling for an investigation into this local sheriff, and how the story Madeline's mother provided law enforcement.
That right there is everything that I am trying to express to you right there. This woman is in so much denial about this man. She is consoling him. This is why I say that she has self-esteem issues and why she's all about her man. It doesn't mean that she put her child in danger because she's all about her man. She did put her daughter in danger, but she was unknowledgeable of facts.
This woman is hugging that man because she truly does not believe he had anything to do with her daughter's death or disappearance. This is before she even knew her daughter was dead. Now, granted, he's also out of jail. As soon as they went in there, I'm sure her entire world fell apart when she realized what this man has done to her home and to her family. It's so easy to point the finger and think you know something, but you have to have experience in the topic. And that's a key factor that's missing from a lot of people's assessments. A lot of factors that are missing from a lot of people's assessment is how manipulative these predators are. And if that wasn't true, explain to me how many there are so many mothers out there that are dealing with this right now. But nobody's beating their door down, pointing the finger at them, saying, hey, you must have been responsible. You must have known about it. You allowed this to happen to your daughter. We're not doing that to them, only to this woman. Why? Because it's this woman's case that took the national headlines, that got people's attention.
Mother provided law enforcement doesn't line up with what investigators know.
We spoke one-on-one with Jennifer Soto last Tuesday. Good afternoon. I'm Darlene Jones.
And I'm Greg Wormuth. At that point, her daughter Madeline had been missing for 1 day. She told us that Stephan Stearns, her boyfriend and now the prime suspect in Madeline's death, had taken the teenager to school. She said the last conversation she had with the 13-year-old was the night before. But this report we got a hold of today shows she told deputies she saw her daughter the morning of her disappearance. Channel 9 investigative reporter.
And she lied. And she lied. She absolutely lied. And we've maintained that here. She absolutely lied. That does not look like a mother that intentionally put her daughter in harm's way. I'm sorry. I get a lot of feelings a lot of times. And you know what? My feelings are off. For example, and my mods can attest to it. For example, there's a child, what was her age? 15 years old, missing. Her neighbor has ran off with her. But this was a child that her mother is crazy. Her father's an addict. And her stepfather didn't go to that extent or anything like that, but was starting to like smack her on her butt, grab her at her thighs, and stuff like that. And the first thing I said was, because the guy that ran off with her, in all fairness, I was getting gaydar feelings of. And I'm just like, is it possible that this guy was just helping her? It didn't sound like she had a very good home environment. And so that was my initial thoughts. And then one of my mods said, well, he does have tendencies of looking at other girls. And then it's like, okay, well, shit, maybe there is that. So don't think just because I'm saying it, I'm sitting on my channel saying that this is the way I feel, that this is factual. This is not. Again, this is the way I'm feeling. This is the way I'm analyzing the case, which I'm one individual, one unique individual, and each one of you guys are each individual, unique individual as yourself. So I'm not going to say process this case the way I process this case. But I'm having a hard time with this. I'm having a hard time with this. I'm having a hard time knowing everything I know about these predators, believing that the mom, this great mom, put her daughter in harm's way. Again, a mom that has no drug problems, no alcohol problems, no abuse problems. And all of a sudden she turns herself into a monster? I mean, that's what the world is wanting me to say, that this woman's a monster without a scintilla of information. Yet we know how manipulative these types of predators are, and we're not including that into our calculation. Not one scintilla of that's being included in our calculation when assessing this mother. None of it. Okay. Well, I'm putting it in my assessment. I'll put it like that. You guys don't have to do yours, but I'm adding this equation into my assessment.
Shannon Butler has been digging into the details of this case. She joins us live in studio.
And thank you,
Shannon,
a waitress, for allowing me to use. I wasn't trying to call you out, and I hope I didn't hurt your feelings in any way. I was just using your comment
as an example. So just to let you know. So thank you for being patient and participating.
Greg, no one has been charged in Madeline Soto's death, but we do know investigators are looking into.
And just, I don't know who Stinky N is, but when you're dealing with people in the chat, please refrain from using calm down. Calm down, in my opinion, is just a way to trigger somebody. I think people use that in an effort to trigger somebody. So when I see that in my chat, I feel like you're intentionally trying to trigger somebody. So I don't like that. If you could refrain from that, that'd be great. I don't know. I don't very rarely read the chat, only when I'm having conversations. So I've been just paying attention to some of the commentary in the chat, and I saw that. So just for everybody here, again, Stinky, not to use you as a pun, but I'm going to have to use your comment as a pun just a little bit. So I'd appreciate everybody refraining from that if possible. Thanks.
Who knew what and when. And some of that means looking at those initial interviews of the couple and the ones later on. Sources tell me the statements about the timeline are not consistent. Jennifer Soto told us last week that the last conversation she had with her daughter was about her 13th birthday party the night before Maddie disappeared.
I told her good night.
I keep wondering if he tried to abuse her that night, and she said that she broke down and said, if you touch me again, I'm telling, or something. I just find it awfully odd that it was the day after her 13th birthday, and she had indicated to her friends that she was planning on running away. And that's, again, if it was her. I would assume, since it came in several days before this event, or I don't even know the timeline. They just said before, that this didn't happen like in the day or whatever. But it seemed like it happened prior to even her birthday, where she said that she's about to turn 13. And when she turns 13, she's going to live in the woods. Did he know about that? Obviously she was starting to, we have to put ourselves in Madeline's position as well. She was starting to be a little more vocal about something that was going on inside of her home. When she starts telling her friends that she wants to run away, how many of her friends knew what was going on? And let's look at it this way. Let me just put this out here to each and every one of you. We as children trust our friends more than we trust our parents. So I'm curious to find out what her friends knew. And if her friends knew nothing, then it is a good indicator that most likely her mother knew nothing. I just want to put that out there. Now, if she told her friends or tried to approach her teachers, which we've heard some potential rumors that was possible, if that does pan out to be true, this will, give more of weight in the fact that mom may have had more information. But again, we're lacking a lot of information to point the finger at this lady and say, oh, she knew and she had something to do with it. What if she didn't? And we got the whole world beating up a victim, victimizing a victim? I'm not willing to go there yet. You better bring me some evidence before I'm taking this mama on. No, Stinky, we can't. Because I've already seen some of your stuff in the chat. I'm letting you roll. You haven't gotten blocked yet, but you're like 2 seconds away from saying something that's going to piss me off to get blocked. So no, we can't be friends.
And yeah, that was it.
But according to documents, Sunday night was not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning, and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was taken, we learned from the...
there's something here. Like, I have a feeling like mom was asleep. What if he drugged mom and mom didn't wake up on time that morning? I mean, I'm speculating here with not a scintilla of information, but it works for everybody else. It does work for everybody else. They can just say whatever without having, but what if? Because to me, it sounds like mom wasn't awake. For whatever reason, it just seems like mom wasn't awake and was just saying whatever her boyfriend told her to say. You know, she got up, she got dressed. How does she even know what her daughter was wearing that day? I don't think she saw her daughter that morning. I really don't. I'm interested to find out the truth. But I do believe her mom lied at the beginning. I'm never going to get off that. I do believe that the difference is between me is the reason why she was lying.
The Orange County Sheriff that Maddie was likely dead earlier than that.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephan Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Channel 9 has been going through statements from
See,
Stephen
I just
Stearns
don't think mom
and
was
Soto
even,
trying to-
either mom wasn't at the house when this happened or she wasn't awake. That's kind of what I'm getting here. That's the first feeling. That's my first gut feeling that I have. Where was mom during this morning? We're going to find out she either wasn't in this home, which I have to believe she was because it was just the night before that they had the birthday party. So she was either sleeping in the shower. Something was going on with mom.
Piece together what happened in the last few hours of the little girl's life, starting with our interview of the couple. Her mom told us last week.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
But in that same interview, then said,
I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
Detectives believe Matt.
So I don't think she was intentionally being deceptive to thwart the case. Because if she really was being intentionally deceptive, she thought this man did it. She would have said she took her to school. You know, she would have said something totally different. She wouldn't have said, you know, if she truly believed this man was going, she would have taken the focus slap off of him. She didn't, in my opinion. In my opinion.
Maddie was likely dead early Monday morning because the video timeline shows Maddie's belongings being dumped in a dumpster at 7:35 by Stearns.
7:35 by Stearns. You know, one thing that we're not taking into consideration is him hurting her after her mom went to sleep. It was her 13th birthday. Mom went out, again, manipulative man, laying in bed next to her, acting like he's asleep until she falls asleep. How do we know that this, whatever happened, didn't happen in the middle of the night when mom didn't know? Mom's in the shower, so he hollers in while she's in the shower. We're going to head off to school now. See, I'll be back here in a little bit. Let me get her to school. Love you, honey. Mom's none the wiser. Mom's none the wiser. She didn't hear the altercation that ensued in the early morning hours. And now he's got to fix everything up, so he probably makes it look like she's sleeping in bed. Because clearly before he even left that house, she was gone. So whatever happened to her happened inside that home.
At 8:19, Sheriff Mina said video shows Maddie in Stearns' vehicle believed to be deceased. Since then, the case has moved to Kissimmee Police, and sources tell us that Soto has been interviewed multiple times by detectives at 2 agencies, and that they are looking closely at all the statements she's made.
I do believe that she's got some problems because, again, she did work the investigation, but I'm waiting to see, because it comes down to the behaviors of law enforcement. Okay, if she's not getting arrested, then they're probably coming up with the conclusion I'm coming up with, that she was lied to, deceived, manipulated. This guy preyed on her and her family. His intent was always her daughter, never her. He was just building the case up until he had an opportunity. And it sounds like almost immediately going into this family, he started abusing this child and started manipulating this child. If I truly believed, and you guys know me, I'm pretty rough around the edges when it comes to kids. If there was even remotely a thought in my brain that this woman allowed her child to be abused, I would be sitting at her front door. I can promise you that, because there's not a
a law enforcement agency in this world that would stop me from unleashing hell on this woman until she was arrested. Within the confines of our laws. Let me throw that out there, right? Within the confines of our law. There's not a law enforcement agency in this world that can stop stuff that's I'm able to do under our Constitution. If I truly believed this woman allowed her daughter to be injured by this man, I would stop the repairs on my car so I could go up and spend a week in front of this lady's house or outside of her apartment community. I promise you that. There's a reason why I'm coming to bat for this lady. Am I on the right side of this or the wrong side of this? I don't know. But my gut is telling me that this woman that I cannot find being a piece of garbage. Now, mind you, I've looked, right? I've looked. If there was one red flag in this lady's background, one stinking red flag. Now, you're asking me, do I believe she had uneasy feelings? I do. Do I believe she was in denial about some of the uneasy feelings that she had? I do. Do I believe she lied to law enforcement to protect her significant other? I do. However, I believe she did those actions because she is also a victim of this man. I believe that she did not believe this man could harm her child. I don't believe she intentionally put her child in harm's way. A lot of people can be duped. When it comes to matters of the hearts, we have a way of looking, and not that it's right or wrong, we all have done it. It's just not come to the level where it's involving our children. It might be an affair, right? It might be an affair that this person had. That we feel uneasy. We feel like something happened, but they convince us so well that nothing happened that we just go back to life. But it doesn't mean that we didn't have the feeling that they were stepping out on us or they had another side piece. I have to put that into perspective like that because some people don't understand the manipulation aspect of this, the mind effing aspect of these types of predators. And I want to remind everybody, there is a mental issue that comes on with these types of predators. Constantly making you feel like you're the one that's got things wrong. Constantly, it's almost an abuse. Think about the abused wives syndrome. It's almost like that without the physical abuse. It's all mental. It's all mind effing. And I think if we apply that factor, I think it will make us a little, just back off of her just a little bit. I want to know whether this woman put her daughter in harm's way or not. But right now, there's nothing here that's supporting that. Just our feelings. Yeah, a Stockholm type syndrome.
But officially, Kissimmee police won't comment. So this initial report also shows that Stearns told investigators that after Maddie got out of his car, she stopped to look in that book bag before he drove away, that same book bag.
Convincing language. That's what that is called. It's called convincing language. It's to elevate your, like the whole thing with Dawn Wells and the whole piece of candy. She likes peppermint. We gave her peppermint. That is convincing language. That's what makes me feel like their statement about Summer Wells was so deceptive because of that peppermint comment, just like this one. It comes with she stopped to look in her backpack to look for her earbuds. Well, how would you know that if she was walking down the road? You wouldn't know she was looking for her earbuds. You only knew she was looking in her backpack. So again, convincing language.
Was found actually in the dumpster. After her death, he then said he went home for about an hour after going to the vape store and running errands. He was home that day until 2:30. Detectives say a tip showed him changing a flat tire not far from where the little girl's body was found that afternoon.
All right, Shannon, it is starting to piece
Sorry,
together.
guys, I'm
Thank you.
trying to
We
turn
also
that.
spoke to suspect Stephan Stearns before he was arrested. He also told us he dropped off Madeline for school the morning of her disappearance.
Okay.
Still no.
Again, they're in order for a purpose. So I know we're going back, but they're in order for a purpose. We have no. Okay, let me refresh this then. I think it's
Still no charges have been
Can you guys
filed in the
hear
death
that?
of Madeline Soto as her mother's boyfriend, a prime suspect in the case, remains in jail on other.
Okay, is
Department
that
says their work continues.
did that help? I don't. Okay, okay. So it must be I have to refresh those pages. Okay, so that's probably what the issue was before. I should have refreshed the YouTube page as opposed to my page. Okay, so that's the problem.
Continues on this case, and that is the main focus right now. West 2's Haley Crumblehome spoke with a professor of forensic studies about what steps they're likely taking right now.
Thank you, love Lakers. God bless you.
Stephan Stearns is here in the Osceola County Jail on no bond for charges of possession of child sexual abuse material and sexual battery. The professor I spoke with said it's hard to give a timeline of when or if someone could be charged in connection with Madeline's.
Do we have, just out of curiosity here, do we have anybody in our chat that is, I mean, you'll have to, I don't need to know your name, but you'll need to try to corroborate your expertise with me. But if for any reason you do have like a clinical psychologist or psychiatry, something that has to do with the mental health, if you guys have any experience in that, or you hold a license of any type, or you went to schooling for it, if you could, I'm really interested in diving into this. I do have my ST girl, and I can't remember her name. I'll have to find it and look it up. Again, it was when I was doing Paula Miranda Rosa's case. There was an ST survivor there. She was an activist and advocate of the cause. I got to meet her. She's written books. She's traveled the country. She's talked about this specific aspect of it. And even though this is not an ST type of situation, it's an SA type of situation, I think some of those behaviors, especially related to the grooming aspect of these types of cases, is very important. I think we need to find out those types of things, because even if you have somebody move into a family and they're not STing and they're just SA, I still think that the behaviors to keep those people quiet are still the same. And so I'd like to see what we have, related to that, and what a professional would say. Maybe I'll start looking here and seeing it. But again, we're going to have this conversation from the behavior panel today at 12:30. So I want everybody to watch, and I'm curious as to what they say. I may have this case all wrong. I really do. I may have this case completely ass backwards. But we'll find out. The truth is going to come out. The truth will come to light. I'm just not willing at this point to condemn a mother that has lost so much with the information and the facts that we have. Right now, we have no facts that this woman has done anything wrong. Anything. None. We have no facts whatsoever that this mom has done anything wrong except people's suspicion that it's possible. I'm not willing to take that suspicion and destroy this woman's life over it until I have a little more information. That's just my opinion. You guys do what you will. I know that people in my chat don't reach out to these people and don't, start sending. That's so I'm not really worried about that. We're really good here about keeping our opinions in the chat, and that's what the chat's for. Don't hold back if you have an opinion, whether people agree with it or not, throw it in the chat and discuss it. The only chat rule is we in cases like this, we know people get heated, so we do take that into consideration. We don't just block everybody just because they get a little pop. I'm a pop mouth. That means when something pops in my brain, it pops out my mouth. So we do have those situations. But for the most part, understand that we do not have enough facts in here. There's no point in arguing with one another. We're all just having a conversation and getting new perspectives and new ideals in related to how to decipher this case and the lack of information. So we just want to make sure that everybody, that's what the chat's for. It's my opinion. If you're a family member and you're dealing with this, you're already emotionally charged. Stay off social media and don't look and review the comments. They could be very hurtful and hurt family members' feelings that are dealing with this. Stay off the social media. Allow a friend or somebody that you have selected to monitor, information in these things, so your feelings aren't additionally hurt. But we do talk about these things. We do talk about mom, being responsible and mom not being responsible. There's a lot of blame to go around. I know it looks like a healthy portion of my chat believes mom had something to do with it. I'm just me as a creator and somebody that investigates these cases on a journalistic aspect. I just haven't seen anything that's going to make me say mom is responsible or mom knew. There's nothing here that indicates that yet. And and again, she's lost her daughter. I'm going to have that evidence before I sit there and wield my platform in her direction.
Death.
Your Honor, at this time, I am going to waive Mr. Stern's appearance.
An attorney for Stephan Stearns waived his first appearance on the sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material charges over the weekend. He's been named a prime suspect in the case of his girlfriend's daughter, Madeline Soto, but there's really no timeline on if or when he could be charged for it.
You really have to give the investigators time to put the pieces of this puzzle together.
Dr. David Thomas is a professor of forensic studies and served as a police officer for decades. At one point, he was the dean of the CSI Academy of Florida. He says Stearns' arrest on other charges gives investigators some time to focus on the investigation into Madeline's death.
Now you guys understand why I talk about low-hanging fruit. Not that what he's being charged with is low-hanging fruit, but this is exactly why I like law enforcement arresting these animals on things that are unrelated to the crime that they're investigating, because they put the person behind bars while they take their time to investigate. And what does this do when they do that? When they deploy that strategy, it keeps them from being able to tamper with evidence. It keeps them from being able to obstruct justice. It keeps them from being able to tamper or intimidate witnesses. It does a whole host of things that gets them off the streets behind bars where they cannot hurt, harm, or interfere with the investigation. And that's why you always tell, when I see law enforcement allowing these people to stand out of jail when they have a reason to lock them up, and they, like even Leilani, double probation, could not pass a urinalysis. She deserved to be in jail while they were investigating and digging through a landfill. They should not have had to find Quentin Simon's lifeless crumbs in that landfill in order to put her behind bars. She was on double probation and could not pass a piss test. She should have been in jail without bond. She shouldn't have been able to sit there and talk to anybody. She shouldn't have been able to be around other children. She should have been in jail where she belonged while they were doing this investigation. And people want to know why I went off on, and I took their politicians as well as their chief of police on when I was down there, is because of that very thing. How dare you put your community in danger when you have a reason to put this girl behind bars. And we talked about that low-hanging fruit, and I called that chief a liar to his face with the nonsense he was trying to peddle to his audience and to the community.
Because once you charge a suspect, they have the right to a speedy trial.
Which means that in 180 days, they have to bring that case to trial. So now that you have him on something that's independent and separate,
No,
you
he's
have
not.
time to process this and do this investigation the right way.
And can you believe that the people? Yeah, he does not have. You know why? Because it's called working behind the scenes. You know, using diplomacy, and that's one of the things that I do the best. And people try to say that because of the stuff with Quentin Simon, he didn't lose his job. He was just wanting to retire or do something different. No, he was forced out of his position. He was forced out of his position for several reasons, and one of those reasons is because he violated people's civil rights. He put that county in financial jeopardy. They're lucky they're not being sued. But he lost his job.
And there's no rush because there's no bond.
He says there are key pieces of evidence they'll be taking a look at.
Number one thing they will probably...
And let me just put it this way. He's stepping down. Let me put it that way. I mean, he is the chief of police. He didn't get thrown under the bus. But he is stepping down. He did step down. I don't know if he's still on the chief site. I know that after his term, he was required to move on.
For his DNA.
And collecting video evidence is crucial.
There's Ring doorbell cameras. There's cameras on just about every house.
There's too many factors to come up with a timeline for potential further charges. For example, if evidence points to another person of interest. And what can really change the course of an investigation if a suspect talks or if they don't.
If he doesn't talk, he doesn't give a confession, and that means they're literally they're starting from square one and putting those pieces of the puzzle together. And like I said, it may take time.
And I will tell you, from everything that we've learned about Stephan, is he has maintained his rights to keep his mouth shut. And from my understanding, he has been keeping his mouth shut. So why am I saying it like that? That means he's not cooperating. So they are going to have to build this case from the ground up because he has denied, he has lied, he has manipulated. And again, I personally, I know there's a lot of people in my chat that don't agree with my heart bleeds for this mother because I truly believe she was duped and she lost her child. I can't even imagine what kind of agony this woman is going through right now. Because I just keep thinking, you know, for myself, if I was so blissfully unaware while this was going on under my nose, how much of a failure I would, like, how much blame she's taking on herself. And then the whole world's breathing down her neck saying, but you should have known! You should have known! Shame on you! You're a murderer! You know?
Hey, could you do me a favor and shut up?
Just saying. Just saying. I think we need more information about the mom. I really do. I've got almost 850 people in my chats right now. I think that this woman deserves the benefit of the doubt. She lost her daughter. We know how manipulative these types of predators are. And we cannot excuse that. We cannot apply different standards on different cases just because of how we feel. We have to apply the same standard on every case across the board. And this is being applied, the same standard is being applied here. And I cannot bridge her being a piece of shit mom. I just can't. I can't bridge it. If somebody can, please, by all means, I'm open. I'm open. Like my car's going in the shop tomorrow. If you got some evidence showing me that this mom knew that this was going on and put her daughter in danger, please give it to me before my car goes in the shop. Because tomorrow morning we will be in Orlando, or Kissimmee rather. We will be in Kissimmee right now. We will take a road trip. If somebody can give me a scintilla of information, factual information that this mother knew, didn't believe her daughter, and allowed her and subjected her daughter to more abuse. If somebody can give me that information right here, right now, my email is bullhornbetty@gmail.com. We will get in the car right now. I will pick up my stuff right now, and we will take a road trip to Orlando. So I'll be waiting for that information. But again, this channel's not going to beat up a mom without having something. I'm not going to go off, she might have, she could have, I feel like she should have. That's not how we work around here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We got to have factual information, not just we thought. Because you know me, just because you think it doesn't make it true. I hope she didn't either. I mean, to be honest with you, it would break my heart if she did. But I can tell you, if you play me for a fool, the repercussions of me finding out the truth are 10 times worse.
Starts now with breaking news.
We start with that breaking news here on the News Edge at 6. We've just been told by multiple sources that a body has been found in the woods near St. Cloud, but we have not received confirmation if it is the body of 13-year-old Maddie Soto. Good evening and welcome. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Hannah McKenzie. Sky Fox is flying over a wooded area.
I know Snow says give me time. I know Snow, and I trust your work. So if you get some, send it to me, because honestly, I don't want to be up here sitting here and having this woman's back if she did something nefarious. But on the same sense, I've got nothing to go on to say she did any. I mean, she did lie, and I'm saying that honestly. I'm just saying that in my assessment, she lied for a very specific reason, not because she was trying to cover up or stop the investigation of her own daughter. I just truly believe she didn't believe this man had anything to do with it, and he was in her mind. I've seen it before. Is the problem. If I had, this is the way it would be. If I hadn't had this experience before in another case, or actually it was more than one case, if this experience wasn't had, I wouldn't be thinking of it, and I'd be on the same line as everybody else. She had to have known. But the problem is I do have the experience where a mom truly had no clue for 5 years. Not a scintilla. No clue. Had no knowledge. The person injuring her child, the child was so, I don't know what the man told that child. That child didn't tell a soul until the child told a soul. This was one that a child did not lose their life, did not get abducted, did not disappear. It was just the reality of the situation. And not only that, we have a lot of survivors coming out and explaining their stories and how they themselves kept this from everybody because they were scared to tell. So if we have even survivors talking about how they told nobody, why would we be applying a different standard in this case? Like, we have to have some type of corroboration that she told her mother or somebody else. And right now we have none of that. We don't even know if her friends know. And again, friends would be the first to know at her age group. Not her mom, her friends.
Sources say the body was found in a remote area near there. Now, we have live team coverage tonight, and we begin with Fox 35's Manny Martinez in the Alert Center. Manny,
But what were you using? I guess that, oh, sorry, hold on. Let me go up here. So, but what were you using to say, I seen the jealousy? What jealousy? Because I've reviewed her stuff. I mean, where are you guys seeing this jealousy? Is that a perspective? Is that what you perceived happened? Because opinions are just that. We all theorize and speculate differently because we're all our own unique individuals, and our brains think, our brains function the same, but think differently. We have a right brain and a left brain, and some people are more right brain thinkers and some people are more left brain thinkers. And so left brain thinkers, from my understanding, are a lot more creative. Not that you guys are creating stuff, but just you got to understand how the brain works and functions. And we're all unique, so we're processing this individually. And I just want to make sure, Duchess, if it's something that you saw, what was it that made you? Because I always believe that first gut instinct is usually spot on. I think when we get that first gut instinct, we always try to tell ourselves something different and get off of it. Not of her. I've seen people like that mother who wants daughter age. Oh, okay. Yeah. But again, there was in my opinion, and I've had those experiences as well, Duchess, but in my opinion, the mom has had some behavioral mental health issues, substance abuse, alcoholism. Usually I see those types of behaviors in families or people or mothers that are like that. This one again has no, clear mental health issues in the household, has no substance abuse issues in the household, has no violence in the household. And usually moms that are jealous of their daughters, they've had cops over there before, they've had a lot of contact and law enforcement screaming and yelling coming from the house. You have, yes, I did get, we do see those things, but there are other traits that go along with that as well that kind of lean us into that assessment. And here we're missing all of that. We're not having a whole lot of law enforcement contact. Mom's never been arrested. There's no history of substance or alcohol abuse in the home. No history of violence in the home. We have to look at those things because all cases are differently. And even if these two cases were the exact same from one person to another, but the parents, one family had substance abuse and one family did not, we have to look at those things and apply those equations into those cases. So I'm trying to apply these things into this case, but there's a lot of key factors that are missing that would allow that to come into play. And so it's, yes, we've had issues where moms have been jealous of daughters, but we also have all the other issues that accompany that kind of mental health thinking and sickening, way of thinking. We're not seeing that here. We're not seeing anything related to the mom of being any type of parent other than a good parent and taking care of her daughter well for many years.
What are we hearing?
Hannah, John, this information coming in just within the past couple of minutes, we have confirmed again, and multiple sources telling Fox 35 that at this point a body has been found that off of Old Hickory Tree Road. That is a different area from this video that you're looking at now. This is from a previous search area. A body has been found again, but we have no identification yet, no confirmation yet if that is the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
And Tammy Sue, if you don't mind, would you elaborate on that to see if my theory holds water? If you feel comfortable, you don't have to answer this question. Were there other issues going on in your home? Did your mom have substance abuse issues, alcohol abuse issues, or any kind of violent tendencies? Was there a mental health aspect with your mom as well? Just to give perspective, if you feel comfortable even answering those, don't answer anything you don't feel comfortable answering, but just to clarify, because I want to make sure that we have, our ideas, because I would think that normal parents, if you came to them, would be receptive this day and age to hearing that, unless there were some major issues going on inside the home. Have you ever watched that movie, Georgia? I think everybody, if we're going to be analyzing this case, there's Georgia, and there was that, what was her name? She used to always get in trouble with the red hair. What was her name? Let me see here. Who are the characters of Georgia? Thought the name was Georgia. Oh, they got Grinny in Georgia. Maybe it's not. I'm pretty sure it's just Georgia. Let me just put those in parentheses. Maybe it's something else. Let me see what my audience says. What is her name? No, it's something Georgia. Maybe it's something Georgia. Maybe it's not just called Georgia. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's with Lindsay Lohan. Thank you. Yes. Lindsay Lohan. That's it. If you guys haven't watched that movie, watch it. I mean, granted, it's a fictional depiction. Then this is from a wealthy family. This is a child that was acting out. Sent her to her grandmother's house, which the mom and the grandma had some, stuff. Mom used to have alcohol problems, a desperate lady. And she found this guy that has a lot of money, and, and the story goes from there. If you guys haven't watched that, Georgia rules. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you. So Georgia rules. That's the name of it. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Watch that movie. Watch that movie. It gives you a little insight. You know, again, it's a characteristic thing. But again, mom was totally unaware, and this stuff was happening for years. Years. So just remember, this mom has lost her precious cargo. Her precious cargo was found in a freaking ditch on the side of a freaking road after being brutalized. So I know it's easy to point a finger, but we need to be correct when we're pointing the finger, especially at a mother that lost her child. We better be accurate. And right now, we have a lot of feelings and a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but nothing factual that's come across my desk just yet. Show me something of substance about this mother, because that is what it's going to take to get me off of this diatribe I'm on. I don't want people beating this woman up without some specific information. Did she lie? Yes, can I say that she lied? Why did she lie? That's the key. That's the key.
Which we know that 4 agencies are right now looking for any clues. This search area that you are looking for is also around the area in Osceola County, but not the one where the body has been found. Again, the body found off Old Hickory Tree Road. Sky Fox working to make its way there. Multiple sources telling Fox 35 that body found. No identification yet, however. We are working to confirm more of that information. So John and Hannah will keep making all of those phone calls, working our sources to confirm exactly what investigators found.
All right, thanks a lot, Manny. Well, the Orange County Sheriff believes that Maddie Soto was killed well before she was supposed to be dropped off at school on Monday morning. And Fox.
And so there's where our first conversation needs to come from, in my opinion, right? That's where our first conversation needs to come from. When did Maddie lose her life? And, did her mom know? Because it sounds like she had a birthday party before, or that was there alcohol involved? Did mom have some cocktails? Could mom have, you got to ask these questions because we don't know what happened. What I can say is it doesn't sound like mom was awake that morning when Stephan left the house. It doesn't appear that she was awake or knew or anything. And she may have been starting her day, and he may have, as soon as she got up, she's like, oh yeah, Maddie's already in the shower. You see what I'm saying? Like, he could have, this is how manipulative this man is. When mom got up and was coming, he could have had the shower going and the door shut in the bathroom, implying that Maddie's in the shower getting ready to go to school. And mom goes into her room and starts getting ready herself. Next thing you know, he's out, we'll see you later. We're leaving now. While her mom's in the shower and can't pop her head out to see her daughter. We don't know. We don't know how strategic and manipulative this man was, but I have to believe with his kind of makeup, the man she thought she loved was not the man. He was the wolf in sheep clothing.
Five's Matt Trezza joins us live now from the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
So Matt, walk us through what happened here. Leading investigators on this search, we know that it's changed hands as well.
Yeah, that's right. So this search was initially put together by the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and they were the ones who are heading it up. They have now passed the investigation over to the Kissimmee Police Department. They're saying that during a news conference this afternoon, at the same time as they announced that they were, quote, confident that Maddie is dead.
Last night, detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department met with Madeline's mother, and they had to tell her the very devastating news that although we have not found Madeline, we are now confident that she is dead.
That doesn't sound like law enforcement believes that this mom knew her daughter was deceased. And that's what a lot of people out here on social media are implying right now. that mom knew that this man was abusing her and that he offed her.
Sheriff John Mina described the grisly timeline as best he could, saying deputies have proof of suspect Stephan Stearns trying to cover his tracks.
We have video evidence that shows Stephan Stearns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26th.
7:35 in the morning. So a lot of the questions we need to know, I'm not saying that mom doesn't have any culpability in this and all that other stuff. I'm not saying any of that. I don't have enough information to say one way or another. We don't have any factual information to say one thing or another. But what I can say is that it does appear that he was acting alone. He got up early, started discarding some of her stuff. Sounds like he left and came back to the home, implying that he was making the appearance to look like he was dropping her off at school. So you're asking me, why would he go through all of these steps if mom just knew? If mom knew that this was going on and that he did something to her the night before, then why would he be going through all of this orchestration by himself? Why wouldn't mom make sure she was somewhere else when they left for school? Doesn't make sense. When you start putting the pieces together, it doesn't make sense. You got to put all the pieces together. We don't have all the pieces. But I can tell you the pieces we do have is showing that mom is still a victim. Did she lie? Yes. But she lied probably from this man being in her ear. You know it couldn't have been me. I love your daughter. I love our daughter. I love our family. I could never do anything wrong. As soon as you tell them if she's missing, I was the one that dropped her off at school. They'll think it's me. You know how these things go. You got to tell them this. You got to tell them that. If you don't, they're going to look at me. You know I couldn't have done this. You know how much I love her. Just nonstop. And you're looking at somebody that you love, that you laid next to, and you just know this person couldn't have been this monster. How could you be so duped to be with this monster for years? He seemed like such a different person.
Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephan Stearns returning to the complex, and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time.
They say their top priority is still finding Maddie. Our cameras were rolling this morning as deputies transferred Stephan Stearns to the Osceola County Jail.
Where was Maddie last seen? Why aren't you helping her mother and her family? This is a little girl. Help them find Maddie. Where is Maddie?
And the sheriff thinks that
whoever that was, whatever news organization that was, I don't know who you are, but God bless you for bringing news back to news, because that's the way it used to be. People hooting and hollering and asking questions, the tough questions, making the tough statements. Not this, getting in their face and asking them the tough questions. So whoever that news person was, again, thank you for bringing news back to news.
Right now on Fox 35 News at 5.
We are now confident that she is dead.
The search for 13-year-old Maddie Soto takes a devastating turn as the prime suspect sits behind bars.
Stephan, where's Maddie? Did you hurt her?
Fox 35 is the only station there today, and Stephan Stearns was transferred to the Osceola County Jail.
Where was Maddie last seen? Why aren't you helping her mother and her family?
The sheriff now believes Maddie was never dropped off at school on Monday.
We believe she was already dead at that time.
And then I think there's one other one. Is there one other one? Yeah, that we already went over that one. So we're good there.
Hey, everybody. Dr. G here. I'm a licensed clinical.
Okay. So here we go. Okay. Now this is the preemptive before the or the behavior panel. Okay. So let's see what the analysis of this guy's assessment of her interview is. I know that you guys are eager to find out. So here's one potential perspective.
And body language of Jennifer Soto. Jennifer Soto is the mother of Madeline Soto, whose body was recently recovered after she went missing for a few days. Jennifer's boyfriend has been arrested due to illicit content on his phone.
We've addressed that. We've addressed that. We've addressed that because I think we know she lied. I think the question is, why did she lie? Did she lie because she knew this man had brutalized her daughter, or did she lie because she thought she didn't think this guy could do it? There's two different kinds of lies here. And at what point did she change her tune and tell law enforcement everything? We need to look at those things too. I think what we're going to find out is she didn't believe that her boyfriend could be responsible, and she was trying to cover his ass so they would look at the other people that could be.
To wipe. In addition, he's considered a suspect in the murder of Madeline Soto. Before we get started, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to remind you that this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see.
Oh, let me get that disclaimer too. You may not like me, you may love me, you may hate me. I don't care. These are my opinions. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. That's the Bullhorn Betty way of saying it. Now, the clinical psychologist way of saying it is that it's just his opinion, blah, 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 blah. Much nicer than Bullhorn Betty. I mean, what can I say?
See more content just like this. All right, let's go. What we're going to be looking at today is an interview with Jennifer Soto while Madeline was missing, but before her body was found. Let's just jump right in.
Jennifer Soto, JENNIFERSOTO. Mother.
So you're already going to notice that she has a tremendous amount of anxiety coursing through her. Her head is shaking because her body is shaking so much. That's a lot of adrenaline. Now, anybody whose child is missing is going to feel anxious. So we've got a baseline of just feeling anxious. We're going to go ahead and start with that, and we'll see what else emerges.
Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
You can also see that her lips are pursed. She's biting on her lips or keeping her lips tucked in. We oftentimes see that as a way to pacify ourselves. Sometimes it's a way to not say something. Usually if we're talking and asked a question and we remove our lips, that's a way of not wanting to respond. She's already doing it, so I see that more right now as a pacifying behavior than an attempt not to say something.
There you go.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
Her emotional expression is interesting. I think that's the only way that I can describe it. It's not typically how you would expect someone to respond. That doesn't mean she's doing it wrong, but the way that she looks versus the way that she sounds is very different. She appears very anxious. Her body's shaking. And yet there's a quality about the way she's speaking that seems very calm and casual. It's a very interesting mix of two very different ways of expressing oneself, but it can be confusing to see this.
When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m.
So, I mean, in reality, what time was she supposed to pick the girl up? Like around 4:15. So within a half hour of her, finding out her daughter was missing, 45 minutes within finding her daughter was missing. It sure does sound like, I wish you trolls would just go get a life. It does sound like, I don't know. You know what I'm going to do? This is what I'm going to do. Sorry, Twitter. You guys are removed. If you guys would like to watch this, you guys can come over to YouTube. There we go.
but she actually went missing.
Now, I want you to keep in mind, she's being asked questions and she's responding directly. She is answering the exact questions that she's being asked. This cannot be said of Stephan Stearns. When you watch his interview, he's asked questions and he does not respond. He gives vague answers. He doesn't provide details and oftentimes
And he's emotional. And he's emotional.
doesn't answer the questions at all.
Early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning, she went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school.
She said we had dropped her off. Now, these statements, these we statements, seem to be getting her into trouble because apparently it was Stephan Stevens who was the one who drove her to school. Apparently she was not part of it. So as she's saying we, it's making it sound inconsistent.
She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
This look right here has been a concern for a lot of people. How could she smile and act a little bit silly while her daughter is missing when something so grave and so serious is going on? And what's possible is she may have a very unusual way of expressing her emotions. One thing that we have not seen yet, and we don't see throughout this, is her faking emotions. Stephan Stearns very clearly was faking emotions. He was wiping his eyes without tears. You are not seeing any attempt to fake anything here. And that's one thing that's really important to understand, is that just because somebody presents strangely, she doesn't seem to be trying to fake emotion. And that's a very essential part of understanding what you should pay attention to and what doesn't matter as much.
All right. So that is the crux of this. I want you guys to go see this as we are going into the behavior panel, which is going to be going on in about 2 hours. For those that would like to watch that, I just dropped the link to this interview. I want you guys to go watch this interview and in conjunction with the behavior panel. Because again, these were some of the things that I was feeling as I was watching this. And I just want people to have a different perspective because everybody is jumping on this woman's back when this woman may not have known. And it is my belief she did not know that this was going on under her nose. And meanwhile, we're all condemning this lady for something, one, she knew nothing about. And yes, she may have been deceptive in some respects, but what was the reason for those deceptions? Was it because she was trying to cover up what the assailant did to her daughter, or the fact that she just didn't want people looking at her boyfriend that she knew could not have possibly done anything to her daughter? Because if you don't know that this is going on, there is no way you're looking at your significant other as a monster. Yeah, I know that was exactly it. It caught her off guard. But I felt that she was being honest about certain things. Now, was she deceptive? Like the whole thing, she saw her child. Could that have been her brain just mushy? Could she have mistaken it for one day to another? I mean, this mom was under a lot of stress. When she was talking about her daughter getting up and getting dressed that morning, could it have been the whole shower thing? Like I said, where she's getting up, the shower's running in the other bathroom, and her boyfriend saying, oh, she just got in the shower. Just go on ahead and take your shower. We'll be leaving here in a few minutes. How much went into this facade that her daughter was getting up and getting ready in the morning by the assailant, Stephan Stearns? These facts matter. These facts matter. So go check that out, guys. We're over 3 hours. You guys have a great day. We're going to pick up this conversation tomorrow morning to dive into it a little bit deeper. We're going to keep going in. We're going to have the behavior panel's assessment, and we'll have a better understanding to discuss this. But I hope you watch those things because, again, there's nothing worse than losing your child and having the whole world breathing down your neck, accusing you of stuff you did not do. I went through 3 years of it. And this didn't have anything to do with the loss of a child. And I can tell you, it was pretty intense. This lady has lost her child. And everybody, because they think it has to be true. We need to get facts before we start pointing the finger at this woman. Why am I pointing the finger at Don Wells and Candace Bly? Why? Because we have facts. We have no facts in this case to point the finger at this mother other than she was deceptive in certain things that she said to law enforcement. But we have to look at those certain things she was deceptive about and why she was deceptive. And in my opinion, it was to protect her boyfriend that she did not think could do this. He did. Deb, yeah. She didn't think her daughter, at this point, her daughter is just missing. At this point, her daughter, she's nervous. She's anxious. I don't think she thinks that anything happened dramatically to her. It's like, think about it. Your child doesn't come home. I ran away from my house. Do you think my mom was a blubbering idiot when I ran away from home? No, she wasn't. She picked up the phone, called 911, and reported me missing as a missing child. I was dealing with a lot of problems. I was running away from home. Facts do matter. They absolutely do. So why is she not crying and a blubbering idiot? Because this is the first interview. She's just found her phone and found out that her daughter wants to run away and live in the woods. Do you think this woman really believes her daughter is deceased? This woman is nervous. She's scared. But at this moment, she does not think her daughter is dead. She's concerned. She wants her daughter to come home. She's probably so concerned she can't even think to cry. Agree to disagree? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I think we need to listen to the professionals on this. And so far, the professionals are saying in this portion, this aspect of it, 4 minutes into this, he's basically saying that, she's being truthful and not exhibiting any of these red flags. And there are reasons that she could have said we, because her and her partner are one, So, all right, guys, take it easy. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be kind and safe to one another. And as always, it's easy to sit there and point the finger, but we need facts in a situation like this. And the facts are not supporting that this woman knew her daughter was being abused or had any hand or culpability in this. And even if she was in denial, again, that is an unintentional act. And again, she was most likely manipulated from the same man that was manipulating her daughter. So we have to use, we're all about mental health in this country, and nobody's giving this woman a benefit of the doubt of what she's been through under this man and how many times she's been lied to, manipulated, and coerced by this man. We don't know these are important details we have to know in order to point a finger at a woman. And nobody can answer those for me, yet we're all pointing the finger at this woman. I just like some clarification on that. All right, guys, take it easy.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.